The weather has been threatening all day in Jacksonville. Currently 68 degrees. It is cloudy. The winds from the northeast at 5. Humidity up there 85%. We have an even chance of rain. There's Jim Bates, the youthful head coach of the San Antonio Gunslingers. On the other side, Lindy and Body hoping to right his Jacksonville Bulls before an enthusiastic home crowd tonight. Getting set to kick off, Ryan Franco out of Penn State. He wears number 10. He's been excellent for Jacksonville all year. Back to receive for San Antonio in single safety at the 2. That is number 21, Marcus Bonner. We're set for football here at the Gator Bowl. I'm Tom Mees with Marv Levy. Hope you enjoy it. This crowd is really into it as we go. And Franco gets a kick away to Bonner inside the end zone, about 3 yards deep. Bonner at the 10 on the reverse. On the reverse to, this is Kevin Williams. And Williams has got some room up the left sideline over the 40 to the 42-yard line. Surprised me and obviously surprised Jacksonville, Marv, with that kickoff return. So it was Bonner to Kevin Williams, and Williams gives the Gunslingers excellent field position. Here's the quarterback, Rick Neuheisel. He'll lead the attack tonight. The running backs will be Don Roberts at the start along with Larry Canada. Wide receiver will be Kevin Williams, the man who took the kickoff back. Split end will be Jerry Gordon. Offensive line, Lee Spivey, Rod Walters, Rich Garza, Arlen Thompson, Ralph Williams, and the tight end, at least at the start, is James Hadnot. First and 10 for the Gunslingers at their own 43-yard line after the excellent play on the kickoff, the reverse to Kevin Williams. Man in motion, backs to the eye, and the pitch out goes to Scott Stamper. Stamper is nailed for a loss on the play. Vaughn Johnson comes up from the linebacking core to nail Stamper for a loss. The defense for the Jacksonville Bulls goes something like this. Front 3, Curtis Anderson, Bob Nelson, and Keith Millard. The linebackers are Tom Dinkle, Terry Beeson, Vaughn Johnson, and Joe Costello starting tonight. Defensive backfield, Van Jakes, Don Besselou, Chester G., and Mark Harper. And this is a defense, Marv Levy, that's been victimized. They're ranked near the bottom of the league.
They've been hurt with the big play frequently. Play okay on the first and second down.
Just one back behind Neuheisel now, and that is Larry Canada. It is second down and 10. No gain for Stanford. Quick drop by Neuheisel. He's got his man, and that man out of bounds is Don Roberts. Roberts is knocked out after picking up the first down by Mark Harper, but the Gunslingers had excellent field position to start, pick up a first down on their very first play, on the second play.
Well, Roberts, when he comes in, it almost means certainly it's a pass. He's only caught 16. This was the 17th, but that makes him the leading receiver this year on the club. He's going out now, apparently not going to play much on first down, but in longer yardage situations ought to be in the game.
George Works, number 33, just activated for this game, has come into the backfield. Roberts was announced as a starter. He did not start the game on the first play, but he was there for that last one. First and 10 now at the Jacksonville 43 for the underdog Gunslingers. They have a better record, but they're the underdog tonight. They give it to Works, and Works has met at the line of scrimmage. Down he goes. Curtis Anderson was there along with Tom Dinkle. Maybe a gain of a yard, yard and a half for Big George Works.
Tom, they just activated Works for this game. They're going for the first time now with an additional offensive back. They have not been getting a lot of production in their running game. Works and Roberts, according to Jim Bates, are going to see a lot more action tonight. Give Gary Worthy sit on the bench, I guess, until he can come around.
It'll be interesting, Marv, to see if the Gunslingers get a concerted drive going. They're not known as a team that'll drive the ball a long way. Second down and 7. Works a 3-yard gain. Been further than I thought he did, frankly, that last play. Neuheisel on the play fake. Neuheisel going for the touchdown, and he overthrows his man. His intended receiver, Jerry Gordon, out there with him was Chester G., and Van Jakes was also in the area.
Very good approach there by San Antonio, Tom, on that. They got Jerry Gordon, usually their most productive wide receiver, at least he was a year ago, man-to-man on the strong safety. They caught him in man-to-man coverage, and the two receivers crossed. Gordon wound up going against G, but G did a good job of covering it.
Well, if you can believe it now, they've actually given San Antonio, the scoreboard has, a yard on that play. It was second and 7, now it's third and 6, but we know that our graphic is right, third down and 7.
The change shows 7 also.
Third down play of the evening for the Gunslingers after that Kevin Williams reverse, and we have flags all over the place. Lee Spivey, the big left tackle, looked like he moved on the left side. We'll have to wait and see for the official call, and that's what it is, illegal procedure.
5 on the offense. Third down.
Well, a costly penalty there, Marv, because it makes it 3rd and 11, and the Bulls defense can read pass all the way now.
Yes, they can. The previous down was a passing situation. Spivey anticipating that fast upfield rush from Keith Millard, the 3rd highest sack man in the league right now. Millard, a very good pass rusher, playing opposite him.
No, the ball is moved back to the Jacksonville 45-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down and 11. optimized by the big play on third downs a number of times this year. That's been their Achilles heel. Let's see if Neuheisel out of the shotgun can do it again. Neuheisel, did he call his own number? I don't know if he called it, but he's trying to run with the ball, and he won't get the first down. Vaughn Johnson brings him down and brings up a punting situation for Nick Mickemeyer and the Gunslingers. Well, if Rick Neuheisel was running his own number, he didn't fool anyone.
Yes, there's a Millard had moved in to tackle on that play, takes an inside charge. The defensive end went way outside. There was a hole for Neuheisel. He ran, unfortunately for him, not enough, but they have very good field position.
Well, Nick Mickemeyer, the veteran out of Temple, is back to punt. He's been handling both the punting and the place-kicking chores. Reggie Butts is back to receive the punt, along with Mark Harper. They're standing at the Jacksonville 10-yard line. Of course, Nick Mickemeyer, I would believe, would be aiming for the sideline here. A little bit of a high snap. He's going for the left sideline, no doubt about that. Ball bounces inside the 10 and goes out of bounds, where Jacksonville will have it, but inside their own 10-yard line. 12:01 to go in the first quarter of play. The Bull defense is held. There's no score in Jacksonville. We'll be back in a moment. Far some keys for both teams if they're going to come out on top tonight.
Well, Jacksonville can't turn the ball over in their own territory, and they can't give up the big play. They don't feel that San Antonio can go a long way. If they don't do either of those two, they'll be fine. Their running game has to get effective to take the pressure off Luther. For San Antonio, run and control the ball. Make Jacksonville get impatient, throw interceptions, put pressure on Luther for the same reason, and they've got to win the kicking game because they don't have a lot of offense.
Well, I'll tell you, Nick Mickemeyer got him a good leg up on the kicking game, no pun intended, as he booted that one out of bounds at the 9-yard line, and that's where Jacksonville will have to put it in play. All right, let's run down the offense. Quarterback will be Ed Luther, the veteran out of San Jose State and the San Diego Chargers. Running backs Mike Rozier and Larry Mason. Wide receiver will be Alton Alexis and Perry Kemp. Offensive line, Bob Gruber, George Collins, Jay Pennison, J.T. Turner, and A.V. Richards starting at right tackle in place of Roy Simmons tonight. The tight end will be number 82, Mark Keel. Had such a good game last weekend at Tampa Bay. All right, Ed Luther has been under a lot of pressure, as we mentioned in the open, Marv, and I'm sure no one wants to have a good game any more than he does tonight.
I'm sure of that. He's starting in a tough spot on his own 9-yard line. They not only kicked off, they kicked off into the wind, so he's going into the wind.
That's right. It's unusual when you get the ball in the wind to start a game, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
That wind is gusting. I'd say at times up to 10 or 15 miles an hour easily. Luther to Mike Rozier. Rozier has maybe a yard. Now let's mention right now, as Rozier hits the dirt under a pile of San Antonio defenders, that he is playing with bad hands. More about that in a moment. Front four for San Antonio: Greg Fields, Ivan Lesnick, Ben Smith, and Ken Gillett. The linebackers: Rich D'Amico and Put Choate. Defensive secondary: Peter Rayford, Clyde Johnson, Jib Bob Morris, Charles Armstead, and Vic Miner. Those are 5 people in what they call the nickel defense, but Marv, as you mentioned, they play out close to the line, at times looking like an 8-man line on defense.
8 men near the front. It's a nickel in terms of personnel, not in how they play it.
Second down and 9. And on short passing situations, they'll run a 6th defensive back in there on it. Luther trying to draw the Gunslingers outside. He does so, and at least it appears that way, as Rozier carries out over the 15 to the 17-yard line. Let's wait and see what the penalties are.
Offside. Right tackle on the defense.
Well, that was Ben Smith. Right tackle San Antonio offsides. Now, Put Choate made the tackle on Rozier. Rozier does not have the first down, so they're going to take it back to the line of scrimmage, take the penalty, and keep the down the same. So instead of 2nd and 9, it'll be 2nd and 4.
Yes, it was a little bit of a tough decision. They had about 1.5 yards to go for a first down. It could have been a 3rd and 1.5 yards. They elected to have 2nd and 4. I think they made the right decision. They have a lot more options available to them here.
As you just saw on our screen, Mike Rozier having an excellent season after a lackluster one last year because of injury and a lot of other circumstances. 3rd leading rusher in the USFL, had 50 yards last Saturday night at Tampa, but his hands are the big problem. He has the left hand heavily wrapped. He gets the handoff again, and Rozier has the first down. Mike Rozier up to the 23-yard line. Maybe he likes the stadium, Marv, because the last game played here against Orlando, he had his best day as a pro, running for nearly 200 yards.
He had a great game, 38 carries. Straight ahead play with Rozier. He picks his hole well. They're handing the ball off to him, and we can look tonight for a lot of handoffs rather than tosses to Rozier because of that very tender hand. He'll probably also come out in the passing situation.
Tackle made by Ivan Lesnick and Ben Smith, but not before Mike Rozier has the first down for the Jacksonville Bulls at their own 23-yard line. Bulls 2 and 5. They consider this game a crossroad with games at Orlando and 3 toughies at home coming up. Again, it is Mr. Rozier. Mike Rozier gets the call early over the 25 to the 26-yard line. Go ahead, Marvin.
Yes, we see, Tom, Jacksonville taking in their own territory a very conservative approach. Lindy Infante said, we cannot turn the ball over in our territory. We've got to make them go a long way. Right from the outset, we're seeing that philosophy being put into effect.
You see Buck Ballou, one of the backup quarterbacks in uniform. Right behind him, Brian Sipe, who's continuing his rehabilitation from shoulder surgery. He feels he may be able to throw a few footballs in the heat of battle in the next 5 to 6 weeks. And we wish Brian all the best. Tragic thing that happened to him, that shoulder injury in the first week of the season. A delayed handoff to Rozier. He's over the 30. Rozier fumbles the football, and the recovery is made by Rich D'Amico. So there is happening what Lindy Infante couldn't afford to happen, a turnover in his own territory.
No, he certainly wanted to avoid that. Rozier with that tender hand. We can get another look at it and see if indeed the hand is effective. You see that left hand heavily wrapped. Rozier slants off the right side. He's running well. We get a reach in there by number 32, Clyde Johnson, who strips the ball, who came in from the left of your screen. D'Amico is the man on the spot, and San Antonio gets what they feel they have to do if they're going to win this game.
Well, they have it 1st and 10 at the Jacksonville 38-yard line. Canada and George Works are the running backs. In motion goes Jerry Gordon for San Antonio. No score early on. They give us to Works, and Works has a hold. He's inside the 35 to the 33-yard line. Gain of around 5 on the play as Vaughn Johnson eventually closes the gap on George Works. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Jacksonville again, Tom, was in a 4-man line, something they normally use in passing situations. They put Millard in on tackle, and he really got moved on that play. Millard moved in at tackle, and the left guard, Rod Walters, really blew him off the ball.
Well, Walters is a big one, 6'3", 258 in his 7th year out of Iowa. Keith Millard, of course, knows a lot to learn. He's a rookie out of Washington State. 2nd down and 5. And off to George Works again. He tries to turn the end. He has the first down inside the 28 to the 27-yard line. Don Besselou, free safety, comes up to make the tackle, and that is a point in and of itself. The safety men have had a lot of tackles come their way on that Jacksonville defense.
You hit it right on the head, Tom. A team where the free safety is making a lot of tackles is a weak defensive team. Besselou is the number 3 tackler on their club behind two of their inside linebackers. And here he gets in on another one. He's the leading tackler in the secondary.
Well, they're going to measure for the first down now. I believe he got it, and my eyes are still intact. He did get it. It is first down and 10 for the Gunslingers at the Jacksonville 27. So Rick Neuheisel, who was, I guess, moved aside in favor of Fred Mortensen for a game and Whit Taylor for a game, came back after sitting out those 2 weeks, and Jim Bates feels the number 7 may have matured a great deal by that experience.
Yes. Rick Neuheisel and James Hadnot had shaky starts. They both are playing well now, and San Antonio's result is playing better.
1st and 10, the Gunslingers at the Jacksonville 27. Long count by Neuheisel. Give us to the up man. That's Larry Canada. Canada, like a battering ram, goes down to the 21-yard line. Bob Nelson, nose tackle, one of the many that had to bring Larry Canada down. Canada, a veteran of Denver in the NFL and USFL.
This is what he does best, running straight ahead. He's a very dependable ball carrier, rarely fumbles, and if he can get any head of steam up, he can pull his way forward. They're in excellent position, picking up about 7 yards on the play.
Good block in there by Arlen Thompson, the big right guard of San Antonio. Open up a hole, and Canada, who's pretty big himself at 226 pounds and 6'2", just followed him. Gain of 6, it'll be 2nd down and 4 at the 21. Backs are split now. Behind Neuheisel. Give us to Works. Works first trying to go outside, cut back inside, but no room there. Mike Edwards, right outside linebacker, and Tom Dinkle, the left outside man, combining to make the hit. Vaughn Johnson, as always, was in the area.
Vaughn has had a very fine season. He's second, just 1 tackle behind Terry Beeson coming into this game.
That'll bring up a 3rd down and 3, and Don Roberts comes into the ball game, and when he comes in, replacing George Works, we were told or led to believe that it's a passing situation.
I think 3rd and 3 is a passing situation, and by that doesn't mean you're going to pass, but the greater percentage of time you'll find on those computer takeoffs, the ball is thrown on 3rd and 3.
Jerry Gordon and Kevin Williams are your split receivers. The crowd egging the defense on. Neuheisel over the middle, and it's a touchdown. Joey Hackett, the tight end. Hackett was out there, and he beat Terry Beeson and also Don Besselou, and Hackett spikes the ball, and San Antonio's on the board first.
Get another look here. Neuheisel coming up. He's really looking to his outside. He sees double coverage coverage out there, knows that Hackett has to be singled. He's got him on Terry Beeson, whose long suit is not pass coverage. It's a mismatch. Hackett is a good receiver, although he's not the starter in the lineup, but he's been a very effective receiver. Caught 23 balls last year, and there's that big play that Lindy said they can't afford to give up.
And here's Nick Mickemeyer, who's been excellent on extra points this year. Whit Taylor, substitute quarterback, the holder. The kick is up, and it's perfect. 6:26 to go in the first quarter. The Gunslingers have drawn first. It's San Antonio 7 and Jacksonville nothing. We'll be back to see if the Bulls can respond in a moment. New Heisel to Hackett, 21 yards and a touchdown. San Antonio on top, 7-0 as the Bull cheerleaders try to get the fans going again. Nick Mickemeyer is saying to his guys, hey guys, let's get going. He's going to kick to two safety men. Back to receive at the 2-yard line, Reggie Butts and Perry Kemp. Butts will be at the top of your screen. Kemp, the lower part. It's a very short kickoff. Butts has it at the 15. Reggie Butts has an alley, and he is cut down, but not till after he reaches the 38-yard line. San Antonio's Mike Ulmer, just activated for this game, makes the tackle. Scoring drive, 4 plays after the turnover, after the fumble by Rozier. 38 yards, and the clincher, a 21-yard TD pass to Neuheisel. Now, Marv, Ed Luther comes on the field. His team turned the ball over the last time. It wasn't his fault, but as we can look at his performance in the first 2 games here, as compared to the last 2 weeks where he's had all that trouble throwing interceptions, we'll see that, well, we'll take a look at it in just a moment. Then we'll talk about it.
Okay.
First and 10, Jacksonville at the 37. Good field position after the kickoff return. Luther on the handoff goes right back to the man who fumbled it before, and that's Mike Rozier for a gain of a couple of yards. Now let's take a look at Ed Luther. His first couple of weeks, not too bad. And then what happened?
Well, 8 interceptions in the last 2 games. He's got to put all that behind him, however. His percentage is about the same. He's better percentage in the first 2 games. His yardage is more in the last 2 games, but they don't count on that. It's that turnover, that big blue 8 that is the problem.
That blue 8 makes coaches blue. Gain of 2 yards. The running back in that play was Larry Mason, number 32, not Mike Rozier. So Mason on the carry for 2 yards. Where the ball is Marvin Lewis. Lewis gets away from the tackler. He's got the first down. A lot more. He's into San Antonio territory at the 46 before Putt Schultz brings him down. Marvin Lewis was corralled in the backfield but got away.
He did a very fine job, and Lindy is not panicking and going to the air right away. He said he had to establish a run. We got to replay. It's a fake trap inside, and J.T. Turner out in front does a beautiful job of blocking. Note, locked up there with Vic Miner, helps our ball carrier Marvin Lewis get an extra 6 or 7 yards that he wouldn't have gotten. They're in good field position now.
Marvin Lewis, second-year man out of Tulane. First and 10 for the Jacksonville Bulls, and they're on the San Antonio 46. Luther, plenty of time out on the flat. He'll go to Larry Mason. He'll spin away from the initial tackler, but Putt Schultz puts him down after a short gain around the 42-yard line. Pick up around 4 yards. Should be around 2nd and 6.
Mason just a flare. Actually, this is the type of pass where you look downfield. If the linebackers drop deep, you throw to your outlet receiver. We throw to Mason. He gives a nice pivot there to get away from Jib Bob Morris, but the San Antonio defense, their trademark has been pursuit. We saw Putt Schultz enter the picture and bring him down after a short gain.
Well, Larry Mason leaves the field now in exchange for a 3rd wide receiver. The only setback behind Luther is Marvin Lewis. Harry Kemp split to the top of your screen. 2nd down and 6. Luther over the middle has his tight end. That's Robert Young, and Young pulls his way for a first down at the 34-yard line. Again, it is Putt Schultz coming up to make the tackle. That's 3 tackles in a row for Putt, and this time a first down for Jacksonville.
Here's Putt Schultz. He takes a short drop, thinks he sees a flare out to the side, begins to move that way, gets looked off. The ball is thrown to the other side, other hook zone, but he comes across the field again, showing that pursuit we talked about on the previous down to make the tackle.
Clyde Johnson came in there a bit late, but Putt Schultz is one of the most active linebackers you'll ever see. In his 4th year out of SMU, makes the stop. First and 10, Jacksonville at the San Antonio 34. The give is to Lewis, and Lewis has got a nice hole up the middle. Marvin Lewis to the 24-yard line. He's near another first down before Jim Bob Morris puts him to the turf.
This is a big fellow, and he can run hard. He's in there. Apparently, they're going to play him instead of Rozier. Same type of play that Rozier ran with. Luther get a very fine move for a big man as he cuts up the middle to get a first down on the play. This is a fine drive by Jacksonville. Their passing has been safe stuff, the type of thing to develop Luther's confidence, just little short flares and hook passes. I said it's a first down, but I'm wrong by about 3 or 4 inches, but it's awfully close to it.
Well, we're quite a ways back from the action, but you're right, it is awfully close. And really, this is a down as a coach and as a quarterback you love, don't you? Second down in inches, it's almost like a waste down.
Well, it certainly is. If you want to take a chance and go deep to the end zone, this is the perfect time for it. I don't know if Lindy will do it at this point of the game, given his stated game plan coming in, however.
Look out for Alton Alexis on this play. He's in there along with Gary Clark. Harry Kemp also in there. Correction, Alexis is out of there. Clark is in for him. Mason and Lewis in the I formation. Second down and inches. And they'll stay on the ground and they'll go with Mason. And Mason cuts the first down. So they take the conservative route, but why not? It's been working. Putt Schultz. Jim Bob Morris in the area to bring him down. And it'll be first and 10 Jacksonville.
Here we see Mason. They're running the inside a great deal, just trying to get daylight where they see it. They're wedge blocking, or close to wedge blocking, up in front, called slip blocking. 2 linemen come on to 1 defensive lineman, and one of them will slip off onto the linebacker. One of them will stay with the lineman.
First and 10 for the Bulls at the Gunslinger 21-yard line. Nice drive for Jacksonville after the good kickoff return. 7-0 Gunslingers, our score. 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Luther over the middle to his tight end. He's got it. That is Keel. Look out. Keel gets away. He could be in the end zone. Not just short. What a run by Mark Keel, and Ben Smith saves a touchdown.
He couldn't be much closer without being in. Again, staying with the very short passing game. He's getting deep zone drops from the San Antonio defense.
Take another look at that excellent catch and run by Mark Keel.
He's looking all the way, looks at Keel, looks away. Now just throws a short, safe hook-up pass to Keel, who would come underneath the clear-out man. Keel is a very good runner. We had him in Chicago last year. He shakes a tackle there from Charles Armstead, his teammate in Chicago last year. Almost gets in the end zone, but they're not there yet.
All right, Michael Whiting, just reactivated at fullback, is coming to the Bulls lineup now. It's Whiting and Larry Mason. It is first and goal, just inches away. The give is to Whiting. Touchdown! Michael Whiting, the second-year man out of Florida State, has given Jacksonville the tying touchdown.
Little bit surprising. Here's a replay. It's a slant to where their strong backs are. Whiting lunges in. All they had to do is move him a little bit. Again, Luther, this should give him a lot of confidence engineering this drive. Whiting is carrying the ball very well, both hands over the ball, touching it to his chest. It was a little surprising that he hadn't played it down and was just activated for this game to give it to him in such a key situation.
Ryan Franco, the excellent place kicker out of Penn State, is perfect. And with 57 seconds to go in the first quarter, the crowd is going crazy in Jacksonville. We're tied. San Antonio 7, Jacksonville 7.
Tom, here we see Mike Rozier on the sideline. He wasn't in during that drive. It's a drive, by the way, not many teams have been able to sustain against San Antonio. But the fumble, I think, may have caused Lindy Infante to say it's too dangerous to play him. It goes against all we're trying to accomplish. Certainly Lewis and Mason did a fine job of running the ball.
They certainly did. Ryan Franco kicks off for the Bulls. Marcus Bonner back deep, but Bonner will not take it. Instead, taking it for San Antonio is Larry James. James, reserve safety man. And he'll carry the leather up around the 25-yard line, where Vansell Carter, rookie out of Notre Dame, makes the stop, and Rick Neuheisel leads the Gunslingers back on. That last drive, as you mentioned, Marvin, impressive one. 63 yards is not easy against San Antonio, the way they've been playing defense. Michael Whiting capping it off, but Lewis and his cohorts in the Jacksonville backfield, Larry Mason, did most of the work.
Yes, they did, and some fine passing, good reads by Luther on that drive. He equipped Luther, by he, I mean Lindy, with some safe passes.
35 seconds to go in the first quarter. Tied at 7, first and 10, San Antonio from its own 24. Play fake, over the middle to Roberts, and Don Roberts makes a fine catch for a San Antonio first down. Terry Beeson makes the tackle at the 41-yard line. He's angry with himself.
Well, there's Don Roberts in on first down. Callie Neal's in there to stop the run, by the way. Roberts is in 4 passes. He's going out of the game now. But when he's in there, you can think pass pretty much. And I'm sure that that's what their computer printouts tell them, too. They just haven't seen him in the game much on first down.
Well, Well, the first quarter has come to an end in Jacksonville. Our score in a very good game this Friday night, San Antonio 7, Bulls 7. Back with more in a moment. Welcome back to the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, everyone. USFL Friday night action on ESPN. I'm Tom Mees with Marv Levy, and Marv, we've got a good one tied at 7, and San Antonio with the football.
A lot of good plays so far. They're moving again.
21-yard pass to Joey Hackett gave San Antonio a 7-0 lead. Michael Whiting's 1-yard run a few moments ago tied it. First and 10 Gunslingers at their own 40-yard line. High formation, the pitch out to Works, and Works is met at the line of scrimmage by Vaughn Johnson and driven back. I tell you, Johnson out of North Carolina State, a very active linebacker.
He's the type of inside linebacker who is better on plays going wide than he is at plays right at him.
All right, first quarter statistics. Jacksonville with the edge in total offense, but fairly even. In time of possession, also fairly even, and our score is dead even. So not much to choose in the first quarter of play. San Antonio showing it can take advantage of a turnover. After a Rozier fumble, they marched right in for a score. And Jacksonville showing that they can drive pretty good distance against the #1 rated defense in the league. Gain of 2, they say, for the running back Works at second down and 8. Neuheisel rolls right, then looks back left, and he has his man. That is the tight end Hadnot over the 45 to the 46-yard line, where Vaughn Johnson is there again to drive him out of bounds. James Hadnot had 5 catches against Birmingham on Easter Sunday.
James started out very shaky, but he's doing well now. Vaughn Johnson now starts on his pass drop. He's looking for Roberts coming across the middle. It's strictly a zone. He sees Hadnot coming on the screen. Again, that pursuit on wide plays. He staves off the straight arm by Hadnot and gets some help also, but it's a very fine play by Vaughn Johnson, who's gotten in a lot of licks tonight.
All that running around, a gain of only 3 yards for James Hadnot. It's third down and 5 at the 47. Movement at the line of scrimmage for Jacksonville. Neuheisel's got a free play here, and Neuheisel is brought down eventually by Don Besselou in the backfield, but let's hold everything and listen for the officials call the penalty.
Offside defense, number 93.
So you can cancel the sack. The offense will get a first down as Keith Millard was called for the offside. And, of course, Rick Neuheisel will gladly accept that kick.
Well, Neuheisel gave it the old double count. He caught up there and gave a sharp bark, and Millard jumped. Then he gave the second bark, and the ball was snapped. And those quarterbacks are working on that more and more, and they better if they want to keep those good pass rushers from being able to tee off on them, Tom.
Timing is everything when you're rushing the passer.
They try and guess on the quarterback's voice. They're going to be wrong too often.
All right, first and 10 on the penalty for San Antonio in the Jacksonville territory at the 48. Neuheisel and the give to the up man coming out of the backfield. That is George Works, and Bob Nelson makes the tackle. Pardon me, that's Scott Stamper. Scott Stamper, but a big game in a game here at the Gator Bowl last year when San Antonio beat Jacksonville 20-0.
Neuheisel audible on that last play, Tom. The nose tackle jumped off the center's nose, moved to his own right, suspecting a weak side play. He audible, straight shot to Stamper, and run 5 yards out of a successful play.
Jerry Gordon and Marcus Bonner on the split ends now, but the give is to the running back. Coming out to the backfield, that is Scott Stamper again, and Stamper is brought down by Vaughn Johnson. Correction, George Works. George Works on the run. First and 10 for San Antonio.
They're alternating their running backs a great deal tonight, and Works, who has only been activated, as we said earlier, for a week. Here's Millard, number 93, in the middle of your screen, being blown off the ball there by Gruber. Millard but he recovers well, makes the tackle. Millard has been stronger against the pass than against the rush, and I think teams know this and try to work on him more in the running game.
Mr. Millard had a tough time at the left tackle, leads 5-8. First and 10 at the 35 for San Antonio. And it is George Works, and Works picks up another good chunk of yardage to the 29 before Terry Beeson makes the tackle. George Works picks up a quick 6. It'll be second and 4.
Works runs a counter play in this. You see Stamper go to the right, Works steps to the right, but then comes back to the left. He finds that hole well. He's small for a running back in professional football, but the San Antonio running game has certainly been effective tonight, something they feel they've had to do.
Well, George Wirtz, you mentioned, is small, 5'10", 190. He played his football at Northern Michigan, and Mr. Wirtz is getting a lot of work tonight. However, right there he runs into a big fellow by the name of Curtis Anderson, and he'll pick up next to nothing, bringing up third down. Curtis Anderson, acquired from the Oklahoma Outlaws in the dispersal draft, is known primarily as a pass rusher.
They're two ends, both Keith Millard and Curtis Anderson, excellent pass rushers, somewhat suspect on the running game, but they're fighting hard on, and Anderson made a fine play that time on defense.
Third down and 3 for the Gunslingers at the Jacksonville 28-yard line. Nick Mickemeyer getting his kicking leg limbered up in case San Antonio elects or has to go for the field goal. Neuheisel quick drop, looking over the middle, almost intercepted by Besselou. He was looking for Don Roberts, and the free safety Besselou cruised in and tipped that ball away. Big play for Jacksonville on defense.
Neuheisel starts to drop. He's looking for that tight end all the way, hoping to get the same thing he got before. They're playing their free safety in the hole on that one, part of the mixture of coverage. Here we see Roberts. They're also getting ways in which they can double Roberts. Besselou trying to come under him, a rather sophisticated coverage that they were using on that play.
That brings a 46-yard field goal attempt by Nick Mickemeyer. Angled to the right. The kick is up. Is it going to be long enough? Well, it is ruled no good. The field goal is no good. So the defense of Jacksonville is held again with 11:09 to go in the half. The score is still tied. Jacksonville 7, San Antonio 7. We'll be back to the Gator Bowl in a moment. Sprinkle to a rain now dropping at the Gator Bowl as we resume action. First and 10 Jacksonville at their own 28. That was the line of scrimmage when Mickemeyer missed the field goal for San Antonio. Play fake and the pass out to the right flat. It is dropped by Larry Mason. The fake was to Mike Rozier, who's back in the game, and he throws out to the right flat to Mason, and Mason drops it.
Mason was flankered way wide. He shifted out of the backfield, tried to get a strong safety to cover him, felt it might be a speed advantage that they'd get. But Rozier's out of the game again now.
Well, we were told he had some sort of equipment failure, but he looked okay carrying through that play on as a fake. Tape problem, we understand. Okay, second down and 10. Lewis comes back in for Rozier. And the give is to Larry Mason. Mason is stacked up immediately by Jim Bob Morris. And there's that man listed as a nickelback, Marv, but playing the run awfully close.
He moves up on the weak side away from the tight end within about a yard or two of the line of scrimmage. When the ball snapped, he may blitz from there, or he may take off backwards into pass coverage. But you've got to be ready for either one all the time, and it's different from what you see each week. The San Antonio defense is sort of the counterpart to the run and shoot offensively.
In other words, there aren't many teams in this league or any other that play it.
And when you get ready for them, it's a different kind of practice week.
Gary Clark is in at a wide receiver now. He split to the bottom of your screen. 3 wide outs for Ed Luthers. He goes over the middle and fires and hits his tight end Keel, but Keel loses the handle on the football. Now they're going to rule it's incomplete. Vic Miner was there to make the hit, and they're just going to call it incomplete. Larry Swider will have to come in and punt. Swider with a 42.5-yard average, ranking number 2 in the league. We'll take a look at that pass over the middle.
Zone defense, they drop deep, take away the wide receivers. At least in Keel, it's a perfect throw. That looked like a fumble to me. It looked like he caught it and pulled it in, then was hit, and the ball came out. But the official probably ruled he didn't have his second foot on the ground while he had control of the ball. Larry Swider, ranking second in the league, back to punt, back to receive it. Marcus Bonner in single safety, standing at his 29-yard line. You can see a 9-yard average per punt return for Bonner. Not bad in this day and age. San Antonio rushing everybody. I mean, nobody's back to help Bonner. They're going to send 10 men. Swider gets it away. End over end kick, and Bonner takes it, and that's a gutsy grab just inside the 40-yard line at the 39, but excellent field position. As Swider's punt is short, Bonner falls on it at the 39. We'll be back to the Gator Bowl in just a moment to see the Gunslingers drive again. Even as I speak, Jim Simpson and Paul McGuire warming up in the bullpen to bring us live USFL action from Legion Field in Birmingham Saturday night. This ought to be a corker of a game. Oakland Invaders with a 4-2-1 record against the 5-2 Birmingham Stallions. That's Bobby Hebert against Cliff Stout. That's Anthony Carter against Jim Smith. Don't miss that one. They're both going to be angry over losses last week, too. They don't think they should have had inflicted upon them.
That's right. Raleigh Dutch, head coach of Birmingham, was very upset losing to San Antonio. Speaking of San Antonio, on the run is Neuheisel. He dumps it off to George Wirtz, and Wirtz has got a lot of running room. He's inside the 35 to the 34-yard line before Bob Nelson brings him down, and some boos are coming out of the stands in Jacksonville.
I think they're a little upset about some of the tackling on the play. George Works has certainly added a dimension by joining them right now.
Well, George Works, just activated for this game, is proving that Coach Jim Bates made the right move.
Well, he's made a lot of right moves during this year and the year before. They get a great deal out of their players.
First and 10, San Antonio threatening out Jacksonville territory at the 34. The give is to Works again. Works behind Lee Spivey is stopped after a short gain by Terry Beeson. It appeared that Spivey was going to open a big hole, but Beeson came to stuff it up.
Well, he pulled on the play, and he had a trap block on the outside linebacker. He really didn't have Beeson as his man. There was a fake up the middle that was supposed to freeze Terry Beeson, but he's a veteran player, knows what's happening. He read the play, filled, and held it to a short 2-yard gain.
Oh, Works leaves the lineup now, and Larry Canada is back in there. Gordon and Kevin Williams are your split receivers. And Don Roberts and Canada are split behind Rick Neuheisel. Second down and 8 from the 32. Neuheisel looking right all the way and going for the interception, and missing was Chester G. And we have a flag on the play as well as Jerry Gordon made the reception. Chester G. was in the area, and it looks like roughing the passer has been called on Jacksonville.
Well, the flag is down, and Neuheisel's getting up as if he's hoping that's what they're going to call. If that's what it is, they'll tack it onto the gain, which becomes a very costly penalty.
Well, the game was down to the 19-yard line for San Antonio, and now they're going to take it
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 93. That's a first down.
Well, Keith Millard, the rookie out of Washington State, number 1 draft pick of the NFL Vikings, called for the penalty. Let's see if we can take another look at it.
Get another look at it. Neuheisel coming back. He drills the pass. It's a beautiful throw. We see Millard beginning to enter the screen at the right just as it finishes, but we couldn't really determine from there whether he had roughed him or not.
Called it first and goal, ball just inside the 10-yard line. Jerry Gordon made that reception. The fake to Roberts. Neuheisel looking for the end zone, and it's over the head of Gordon. Back there covering on the play was Chester G., the strong safety out of Duke. Pair of 22s in the corner. It'll be second down and goal.
Down here, Tom, you get a lot of man-to-man coverage because you have to get a lot of people close to the line of scrimmage and force against the run. This is what Jacksonville has not been able to do real well this year. Their corners have been somewhat suspect. They've given up this type of play. San Antonio tried to go to work on that. It was a good route. Neuheisel overthrew the ball in the corner.
We're about halfway through the second quarter. We're tied at 7. I'm Tom Mees with Marv Levy. Second and goal for the Gunslingers. Neuheisel for the end zone. Neuheisel that time appeared to be throwing to Kevin Williams, but that pass wasn't close. It'll be third and goal.
It was a slant-in pattern to Williams. Williams was double covered. He tried to slip it in between all the defenders, but it really wasn't there, and I think he just put it where it wasn't going to be intercepted. I don't think it was just a bad throw for the receiver. He was covered.
Rick Neuheisel, 6 of 10 now for 92 yards on the evening. Third down and goal, and once again, in case he's needed, Nick Mickelmeyer warming up his field goal leg on the San Antonio sideline. Gordon and Williams are the split receivers. Neuheisel looking left, going for the end zone to Roberts, and Roberts has it. Was he in bounds? No, he's out of bounds. Don Bessalou on the coverage. Don Roberts may have had 1 foot in bounds, but he definitely didn't have 2.
Well, it makes as long as he didn't have those 2, it's all is academic after that.
Take another look and see.
Roberts is really open out there. 1 foot goes in, the other is right on the marking where the out of bounds takes place.
Well, the ideal was good.
Here we see him again, wide open, first foot on, the heel of his left foot hits the white, which is out of bounds.
Of course, Don Bessalou looking back and doing some refereeing, saying, no, he's out of bounds, no good. Believe him. Nick Mickelmeyer will attempt what should be for him a chip shot. He's 2 for 2 in this distance. This is a 27-yard attempt, angled to the right. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is good. Makes it through on the left side. So with 7:20 to go in the first half, the San Antonio Gunslingers have taken the lead. Our scores: San Antonio 10, Jacksonville 7. All right, the field goal of 27 yards by Nick Mickemeyer is given to San Antonio Gunslingers to 10-7 lead. I'm Tom Mees with Marv Levy back with the Gator Bowl. There are Reggie Butts and Perry Kemp back deep to receive Mickemeyer's kickoff. Nick's last kickoff did not go that far. See how this one is against the wind. It's a low line drive shot, maybe the best choice against that wind, and Perry Kemp picks it up at the 5. Kemp barrels forward to around the 23-24-yard line. Mark McNeil back on special teams to make the stop. 1st and 10 there for the Jacksonville Bulls. It has started to rain a little heavier now. A lot of folks in the stands putting on their orange and yellow rain gear as Ed Luther trots onto the field. Of course, this field is in excellent shape. I'm sure it can take a lot of water.
Excellent. I was down there before the game, and it's really finely manicured.
So you're down 10-7, but again, if you're Lindy Infante and the Bulls, Marv, you don't want to vary from that game plan, which has worked pretty well for you tonight.
By no means should he vary. They're holding up a little bit. San Antonio's offense is moving against a weak defense.
First down, and the give is to the running back, Larry Mason. Mason has absolutely nothing. Is coming up to make the tackle, Clyde Johnson. In there at safety position, number 32. Gary Clark comes in now. Brad Anai also in the area. It'll be 2nd down and 9, gain of only 1. Last time these two teams met, almost a year ago to the date, only 2 days apart, a 20-0 shutout, 1 of 3 in the history of the San Antonio Gunslingers that they have inflicted on the opponents, and the only time that the Jacksonville Bulls have been shut out in their history. Quick out as Alton Alexis, the leading receiver in the Eastern Conference, but not for much. Rock Richmond comes up to put him out. That's a great name for a football player, Rock Richmond.
It's a great name for any athlete. Boxer, you name it. Hockey player. They put all their receivers to the right side with the exception of Alexis. They left Rock Richmond out there on an island, tried to hit Alexis on a slant-in pattern.
Rock Richmond played at the University of Oregon, had a big throw a couple of weeks ago when he intercepted a Matt Robinson pass, took it back for a touchdown. It'll be 3rd down and 4 for the Bulls on their own 29. Clark going in motion. Luther under some pressure and gets the ball away to Keel, his tight end, but they say it is incomplete. Clyde Johnson right there in the coverage, and so the Bull offense is stopped again. Larry Swider will be in the punt.
It's a passing situation. We'll get a look here at A.V. Richards, number 79, at right tackle in the middle of your screen, blocking against Jeff Chapin, having a little bit of a struggle on the play. I think he grabbed his lapel a little bit on it. He was able to get the pass off, but he was hurried. Richards, his first pro start. He's a rookie, the only territorial choice, replacing the injured Roy Simmons tonight.
Marcus Bonner,
back job in his hand.
Back to receive Larry Swider's punt. And this could be tough, Hard, because the rain will make the ball a little bit slippery. Swider got plenty of time. Bonner hauls it in at the 30. Looks left, and he's going to be snowed under. Nice job by Jacksonville coming down to make the tackle. Gary Anderson inside the 35 at the 33-yard line with 5:11 to go in the first half as Ed Luther walks slowly off the field. We have flags in the play.
Downfield, number 60 on the kicking team.
All right, we have a penalty against the Bulls now. San Antonio had pretty decent field position at the 34. Do you make them kick it over again?
Absolutely not. You've got the ball. You've got it in pretty good territory. You bring it back there, you might commit a foul, a defensive foul in my mind, which gives them an automatic first down. They're taking it. I'm only giving you my rationale. There's an argument on the other side. I wouldn't have taken it.
Well, Jim Bates has elected to take the penalty, and maybe he figures he can get a high snap in this rain or something.
One of the reasons he has a good punt return team, and Jacksonville has not covered punts well. They've given up 12.3 on punts. There's Jim Bates over there. He's made his decision. Whether it works or not, he's made it and he sticks with it.
All right, so the line of scrimmage now is the 24-yard line, and Larry Swider will be back a little bit deeper to punt. And the Gunslingers had 10 men up in the line. Now a couple of them will drop back, so they're sending 8, and Bonner is standing at his own 38-yard line to receive the punt. See who gets the upper hand on this decision. Nice, high, spiraling punt. Boy, I tell you, this is a better punt by Swider. Bonner at the 24. And Bonner, well, he gains all of 2 yards on the exchange. He's down at the 36-yard line, where it'll be first and 10 for San Antonio. I don't see any flags, so we're going to break now. And we'll be back to the Gator Bowl for the final 4.5 minutes of this first half with the Gunslingers up by 3. 10-7, San Antonio on top with 4:27 to go in the first half and running. Rick Neuheisel having a pretty decent night for himself. Second-year man out of UCLA. First and 10, San Antonio on its own 36-yard line after the Spider punt following the penalty. Only one setback, and here comes the pressure, but San Antonio picks it up and over the middle for Hadnot, and it is incomplete as Van Jakes laid the lumber to James Hadnot. Neuheisel had the perfect call for the blitz.
There was an inside linebacker blitz on the play. Number 50, Terry Peason. Neuheisel drills the ball. Well, the blitz was really picked up. He drills the ball on his own defense. Jakes closes in well from the outside.
I'll tell you, James Hadnot, when he sees that, probably will say, I should have caught that ball.
And he should have. That was a catchable ball. He has to catch it. You work your tight end down the seam like that in the zone, you expect him to catch it.
Second down and 10. See if the Bulls come to the blitz again. The give is to Larry Canada, and he'll go absolutely nowhere as he's wrapped up by Keith Millard. Millard makes the excellent play that time on the run. It'll be third down and long.
Millard was playing over the guard on this play. They brought him way to the inside. Usually plays over the end. He gave an arm over move and came inside and is able to wrap up Larry Canada, who's a strong runner, but he stops him for a gain of about a foot on the play.
Well, they did give him about a foot, believe it or not. It's third down and 9. Ball is technically up to 37. Lindy Infante looking on the Jacksonville sideline. 3:29 and counting in the first half. Neuheisel out of the shotgun. At the time, the pass is batted down. I think that was Vaughn Johnson who got a paw up in the air, the linebacker. And so, Nick Mickemeyer will have to come in and punt against this win.
Vaughn Johnson's been an active man tonight.
Well, Neuheisel was a bit upset with himself. I believe he had Marcus Bonner open over the middle. And it's always frustrating. Oh my God, I'm gonna complete a pass, and you get it away, and you're already looking at your receiver, and it's batted down right there. Kemp and Butts back to receive Mickemeyer's punt. This is Nick Mickemeyer's view. Interesting view, isn't it?
Tough view is the one by the center.
Yes.
That's the tough view, looking through your legs.
Mickemeyer gets it away as Putt Choate calls the signals for him. It's a short punt, and it is Gary Clark fielding it. Clark is brought down on a nice play at the 34-yard line. Coming up to make the tackle for San Antonio was Hallie Neal on the special team. 10-7 San Antonio, back in a moment.
You may have noticed how the USFL has attracted top quality players, like Heisman Trophy winners Doug Flutie and Herschel Walker. Boy, can they play, but they can do more than play in the USFL. Like we can do this. And this. Check us out, the USFL, where football is still a game.
The injured man on that play, the man that made the tackle after the punt, Hallie Neal. He is from Tarleton State, third-year man. He's a linebacker, and he appears to be okay, Mark, but if they lose him for any length of time, they're going to be awful thin there.
They've taken him from linebacker, moved him out to the strong safety spot where John Bearfield had been playing, and Reggie Mathis. He's the third one, and really, that's not even his position.
Now, Mike Rozier has been in and out of this lineup tonight. He had equipment problems. He has a lot of tape on his left hand. We're told he had some tape problems, and he missed all of the scoring drive for Jacksonville, but he's back in the lineup now.
Yes, I guess it was an injury. They redid the tape job. That can cause a problem in carrying the ball, and there is no right tape job. You just try to get the one that is the least detrimental to you.
First and 10 for the Jacksonville Bulls. They have about 3 minutes to go here in the first half. They'll have a good field position, first and 10 on their 34, but trailing 10-7 to San Antonio, looking for its third win in a row. Rozier, the lone setback. He gets the handoff on the delay, and Rozier doesn't have much blocking out in front of him. Putt Choate brings him down after negligible yardage, make it a gain of a yard.
It's a tough team to run a draw play against. They have 4 down linemen and 2 inside linebackers. You just can't account for everybody. And here we see, is that cut? Yeah, no, it's Rick D'Amico who comes in and makes the first stick. And Rozier pulls him forward, really. D'Amico requires help on the play, and he's a hard hitter.
Certainly is. 2nd down and 8. Well, they gave Mike a charitable spot. They gave him 2 yards on that play. Over to the 35 to the 36. Double wide receiver, Kemp and Clark to the bottom of the screen. Luther looking for Gary Clark, has him at the 40, and Clark is really stuck over there by Clyde Johnson. I tell you, that's aggressive defense, and Johnson wrapped him up and put him down.
Johnson came in for Tally Neal.
Well, the bounty hunter defense is what they called in San Antonio. In their 3 wins, they've only given up 4 touchdowns, have intercepted the ball 8 times. In their defeats, you would expect a little bit worse performance. They've given up 105 points in defeat and only 2 interceptions, and they've allowed 8 touchdown passes in games that they've lost. 2-minute warning here in Jacksonville. Crowd around 35,000 hoping for better things for their Bulls. Right now they're down by 3. It's raining now quite persistently in Jacksonville. The fans are here having a good time, trying to start their own wave in the Gator Bowl, about 35,000. I'm Tom Means with Marv Levy. 2 minutes to go in the first half. Can't have much of a wave when you have some empty seats there in the corner. Now they got it going. 3rd and 3, Jacksonville at their own 40-yard line. In motion goes Perry Kemp. Luther got plenty of time to Kemp over the middle, and he's got the first down up at the 45-yard line. Rich D'Amico there to bring him down, but Kemp knew how far he had to get, and he got there.
They continue to work that short underneath game. They're getting almost all zone defense. They're going with a hurry-up offense now. I don't know if they need to exactly with this much time left in this position, but they are.
Luther now 6 for 9 in the passing department for around 50 yards on the minute. Luther got a man coming out of the backfield, has that man, but he'll have nothing. That's Larry Mason, who got knocked for a loop. Again, here's that man, Clyde Johnson, who put the vicious hit on him.
Well, this young rookie out of Kansas has put on 2 great hits. He's moved in for Tally Neal, and Neal was supposed to be the heavy hitter, and he is, but Clyde Johnson, a smaller man, is certainly playing like a linebacker. He doesn't wrap him up, which he should do, but all the rest of it's pretty good.
2nd down and 9, gain of only 1. Here is Mason. He's got some running room up the middle. Look out. He's in the clear. Mason is out of bounds at the Gunslingers 21-yard line. Rock Richmond may have saved a touchdown, but Larry Mason really had a hole up the middle, Mark.
Draw play, beautifully run. Good thing Lindy didn't listen to me when I said they're a tough team to run the draw against, because they sure popped that one.
Rock Richmond made the tackle or forced him out of bounds. 1st and 10 now at the 23. You got 1:12 to go. And you're driving. Obviously, you want the touchdown, but when do you figure to go for the field goal? Only as the last resort in this instance?
Only the last resort, absolutely. 4th down, and that'd be it. That's pretty cut and dried for him in this particular situation.
1:12 to go in the half, and Jacksonville still has all its timeouts, 3 of them. Again, it's Larry Mason, and he breaks through again. Larry Mason close to another first down, down near the 12-yard line. Vic Miner, again, may have saved the touchdown.
He did. Both inside linebackers blitzed. You can't block them all. But somehow they got tangled up. There's a great pickup in there against Putt Choate. Mason running very strong. Charles Armstead, the smallest man in the secondary, is the one who finally catches him by the ankles and saves the touchdown. They got plenty of time and plenty of timeouts to get done what they want to get done.
And they have a freebie coming here because the officials want to measure to see if the Bulls did pick up the first down. Ball is almost at the 13-yard line, about the 12 and a half. And the Bulls are just short. So you've got a 2nd down and inches to go. And you're knocking at the door with 1:05 to go in the half. San Antonio leading by 3. This is where Ed Luther's had some problems with turnovers, Mark.
Well, it's tougher for everybody to pass down in this area. Of course, the field is shorter. The back of the end zone is the greatest defender in the world down here. It shortens the field. You don't have to give as much of a cushion when you cover. San Antonio tends to do much more blitzing here. Their style of defense changes. They play zone out of the field, but they feel they have to take the chance and have to force it when they get down here.
Coming up at halftime, we'll take a look at some of the top performers statistically last weekend of the United States Football League. Stay tuned for that. Second down and inches. It is Mason again, and he's got the first down. And it's first and goal, Jacksonville at the 7-yard line.
Call their timeout. They have 2 left, 51 seconds to go. Mason is doing some fine running, great adjustments at the line of scrimmage. Marvin Lewis leading the blocking. The nose tackle goes to the left of the screen, just at where Mason was heading. Mason saw it, made a great move, adjustment on the move.
51 seconds to go in the first half, and the Jacksonville Bulls are driving. We'll be back to the Gator Bowl in a moment. Some of the crowd of nearly 35,000 on hand tonight in a off and on again rain situation. Lindy Infante has seen his offense go off and on, Marv, but they're driving now. They're definitely on with 51 seconds to go. First and goal at the 7.
7-yard line is a tough spot going in. This is their only down where they can pass with any degree of surprise, but he may not want to risk it because he can always come away with a field goal and go in tied.
Mason and Lewis are the setbacks behind Luther. Everything now is stacked up to the left, and that's the way to go. The give is to Lewis, and Lewis has the touchdown. Marvin Lewis on a 7-yard run. Well, I'd say he and the fans are pretty happy about that.
Lewis and Mason have certainly taken up the slack for Mike Rozier tonight. They're running against the top-rated defense in the league, and even though they're only 6th against the run, they've been strong against the run. Their total defense is what counts.
Well, lining up now for the extra point. No rest for the wicked, I guess. Marvin Lewis got to stay in the special teams as blocked for the extra point. Swider will hold, and Ryan Franco will attempt it with 47 seconds to go in the half. The snap is down, the kick is up, and the kick is good. So the Jacksonville Bulls have taken a 14-10 lead. Let's take another look at that TD run by Lewis.
Lewis coming up over the left side behind the blocking of Larry Mason and Bob Gruber. Mason leading the play. Mason has done a good job of blocking tonight in the situation he's been called on to do it. Here's the smaller man, Mason, blocking for the bigger man, Lewis, who is very nifty for a man of his size. Marvin Lewis is, about 6'3", 225 pounds.
That's right. Not bad to stretch that body out when you've only got 7 yards to go. Get 2 or 3 yards from the goal line, you can reach it. Well, Lindy Infante, I guess he feels he has the load of the world off his shoulders now. Or Jim Bates, his team, a lot of people wrote them off when they were 1-4, Marv, and they deserve a lot of credit the way they fought back.
Yes, they do. Jim Bates is a very inspirational coach. He has a fine staff. They're very sound in what they do. And Lindy has kept his poise and cool during some tough weeks right now. He came close to some good teams. It's awfully tough to be a good coach when your defense isn't strong. But he's persevered through it. They're playing better tonight at both sides of the ball.
All right, Franco moves into the kickoff. And down the right sideline, it is picked up for San Antonio by Larry James, and James is smothered at the 28-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10, but the Gunslingers only have 42 seconds in which to operate. At Jacksonville scoring drive, 66 yards, 6s are wild, 6 plays. The time, 2 minutes, 24 seconds, and Lewis caps it with a 7-yard run.
The two big plays in my mind, the draw play where Larry Mason picked up, I'm going to guess off the top of my head, 30 yards, and that 3rd and 4 where Perry Kemp came in motion, caught a pass, only gained about 5, but it kept the drive going, and they didn't have to punt. 1st and 10 for the Gunslingers at their own 29. Now let's see if Jim Bates gets conservative or opens it up. Well, Neuheisel back to pass, and he's going long up the sidelines and has his man, that is Roberts, for a first down. Van Jakes hits him out of bounds, but a nice catch falling backwards by Don Roberts. That's the identical play they threw down in the end zone early in the quarter that Roberts stepped out of bounds on, only this one was thrown to the other side of the field.
1st and 10 for San Antonio at the 41-yard line. 37 seconds left, and San Antonio still has all 3 of its timeouts to go. So they can move the ball a long way in 37 seconds with 3 timeouts.
They can. They're thinking, of course, to get field goal position here. 2 deep safeties, excuse me, Tom, but 2 deep safeties can make it tough to throw deep against.
Jacksonville just doesn't want to give up the big play here. Flag on the play, the dump pass off to Larry Canada, who picks up another first down. Question is, who is the penalty on and what is the call? Bessalou and Chester G put him down, but Neuheisel looks back
75,
and sees that yellow flag.
On the offense.
Lee Spivey, left tackle, is called for the penalty. So that'll negate the first down catch by Larry Canada.
When that happens, I guess right now, you've got to get a little bit careful. You've got a long way to go, 28 seconds.
Well, that would have been a big, big completion for San Antonio. Would have put them well on the way to getting into field goal range.
The big thing that's often missed when you see penalties at the end of the game, listen to this statistics column is you don't know the amount of yards you lost or the amount of first downs you lost or the amount of ball possession situations that you didn't take advantage of because of the penalty. That's just the yard.
Well, that penalty makes it 1st and 20 at the 31 with only 28 seconds to go, and now Neuheisel just hands off. Vaughn Johnson makes the tackle on Scott Stamper, who gets the handoff, and the clock will run down. And well, San Antonio is calling a timeout with 19 seconds left. Jim Bates wants to give the matter some further study. And so the ball is being marked up at the 35-yard line. Don't forget, live tomorrow night from Birmingham, Jim Simpson and Paul McGuire will be there to call the interconference battle between the Oakland Invaders and the Birmingham Stallions, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time. That's Bobby Hebert and Anthony Carter for Oakland. That's Cliff Stout, Jim Smith for Birmingham, and a very active Birmingham Stallion defense. And you know that both teams will be angry tomorrow night.
They certainly are going to be two strong teams who suffered losses. You know, if you only play 95% professional football, that's not just 5% less than 100. It's way too much less than 100. Not that they played that way. The point I'm making is that's why weaker teams win. You don't play right at the top of your game.
Well,
and
Bobby,
if you don't, you fall off a long run.
Pardon me, Mark, but you know, Bobby Hebert said in the press after the Oakland loss to Portland, hey, we just had a bad game. We took these guys lightly. And then Raleigh Dutch and Cliff Stout admitted that they had their worst game maybe ever in San Antonio last week. 19 seconds to go as Neuheisel from the shotgun. Under some pressure, unloads and has his tight end. The tight end, Joey Hackett, is a first down at the Jacksonville 40. Chester G on the tackle. Timeout with 13 seconds left to go in the half.
Well, this is very similar to the touchdown pass they hit Hackett on in the first quarter. There's a lot of pressure, but all over his back on the play. We have a defender, his number I couldn't find, number 26, Chester G. Ike Griffin rushing from the outside on the right of the screen, blowing on by there, Spivey. Before he delivers the ball, but it connects. Now with 13 seconds to go.
13 seconds to go and a timeout called by San Antonio. The ball on the 41-yard line. There's the tight end, Joey Hackett. He's from Little Elon College in North Carolina. He's 6'5", 230-pounder. One of the men who made it from the small college ranks in pro football.
A small college, but a big man, Joey is.
Absolutely.
They have time to get themselves in field goal position, particularly with timeout left. They can hit another pass, whether it's inbounds or out, get better field goal position and take their shot at it. They make it go down by just 1 point. Go into the locker room by just 1 point, being 1 point down.
1st and 10 at the 41. I would think that to give Mickemeyer a legitimate shot, they got to pick up another 10 yards or so. Maybe another 15 or 20 against this wind. They are kicking against the wind. Again for the shotgun is Neuheisel. Looking long to the sideline, intended for Jerry Gordon, but the ball never got there. It was tipped on the way, and it'll be 3rd down and 10 with 9 seconds left. Van Jakes is one of the defenders in the area.
I think it'll be 2nd down coming up. They didn't pick
second down
on the other play.
2nd down. Keith Millard, we understand, the big rookie defensive end, has pulled a muscle in his back. That's why Ike Griffin is in there right now, but Millard should be back in the second half. 2nd down and 10. 9 seconds to go in the half. Gunslingers trail before. Neuheisel under some pressure, gets it away, and intending the ball for Kevin Williams, but Williams couldn't reach it, and Neuheisel is slow in getting up. 5 seconds on the clock. Incompletion.
Out of the shotgun, you see Roberts flaring to the right. He steps up as he should, but he gets a shot there from Mansell Carter and Ike Griffin in the sandwich. 5 seconds left. They really don't have enough time to get close enough for a field goal. Now, what they have to do is throw one of those big bend passes, hope to get a penalty, or get lucky with a touchdown. They just got to throw for the end zone here, because they're not going to get a field goal unless there's a penalty.
All right, what should be the last play of the first half, Barnes. Penalty. Neuheisel never get it on. Neuheisel is brought down. There is a flag, however. Bob Nelson made the sack. There's a penalty flag down.
If that's on the defense, it's 15 yards, and you get another play.
Personal foul. Spearing, number 92. Will extend to half.
Ike Griffin is called for spearing, number 92. That's a penalty, and it will extend to half. One more play.
One play, but in legitimate field goal range, they move the ball here down to the 30-yard line, which means it's going to be a 47-yard field goal. Not an easy one, but certainly a makeable one.
Well, Rick Neuheisel, you think quarterback is a glamour position? Watch this.
Here we see Neuheisel. He's wrapped up on the ground. They call Ike Griffin coming in late, and I believe Mansell Carter also in late on the play. Good call.
Yep, I agree with that call, no doubt about it. He was already down. All right, this is a 47-yard field goal, angle to the left, against the wind, a slight wind. Nickemeyer. He'll get it off, and the kick will be wide to the left. No good. So the Bulls dodge another bullet. The first half comes to an end. Jim Bates and his team leave the field. They have to be satisfied, but Lindy Infante is a bit happier because his team has the lead. Our score at halftime, 14-10, Jacksonville.
Welcome to halftime, everybody. Hope you're enjoying our game between San Antonio and Jacksonville. This past week in the United States Football League, good news for the Orlando Renegades. They won their very first game of the year, and they did it by some special teams play, namely kick returner Jerry Parrish. Chuck Bushbeck sets up to kick off for the Showboats to start the game. The Renegades' Jerry Parrish is back, and Fred Manfra picks up the call.
It's a high kick, but short. Parrish takes it at the 13. Parrish some free room to the 35. Parrish, who's gone 95 yards for a touchdown earlier, is going to go all the way. Touchdown, Orlando!
Jerry Parrish has been a busy man for Orlando. 22 kick returns this year. Over 27 yards on average return. He's had a 95-yarder for a touchdown, 2 TDs on the year, and he is the top man. Those are season statistics as far as kickoff returns are concerned. Meanwhile, in the rushing department, how about this man? Herschel Walker of the New Jersey Generals. The handoff from Flutie. He gets to the outside and see it. 88 yards for the touchdown. He had a United States Football League record run from scrimmage. 233 yards rushing on the day. A 3rd and 7 here. Are they going to pass? No. Little draw play, and Herschel Walker picks up some valuable yardage there. What do they call on Herschel? 4th and goal. Walker scores. Herschel Walker, 34 attempts, 233 yards, 6.8 average, couple of TDs, the 88-yard touchdown run. Billy Johnson and Alan Harden of Baltimore also in the top of that statistical category. Meanwhile, when it comes to passing, this is Mr. Pass of the Houston Gamblers. Jim Kelly finds Richard Johnson right there. And even in a losing cause against the New Jersey Generals, of course, Kelly, always a force to be reckoned with. Kelly shoots to Clarence Verdant, 3 yards on the touchdown pass. Kelly injured his hand in this game when he was sacked, had to warm up a little bit on the sideline, kind of shake it out, but he comes back gunning. And once again, that man, Verdant, look at this catch in the end zone. Great grab, 3 men all over him. And Jim Kelly, 28 of 46, 333 yards, a couple touchdowns, a couple interceptions. And Ed Luther moves on the statistical list for the first time this year since, of course, he moved over from the National Football League to Jacksonville. Meanwhile, in the receiving category, Oakland's Bobby Hebert has got some great receivers. Maybe this guy you haven't heard as much about. His name is Gordon Banks. Look at the concentration here. The ball is tipped by Carter. Banks comes in, makes the grab, and in week 7, Gordon Banks, 6 receptions, 139 yards. That's a 23.1 average. He didn't catch any touchdowns, but he was the man on the spot when Bobby Hebert needed him. And that's a look at some of the stats from this past week and in the season in regards to kickoff returns in the United States Football League. Halftime, Jacksonville and San Antonio in Jacksonville, and the Bulls with a 14-10 lead over the Gunslingers. We'll be back with more of our halftime show right after this. We're at halftime of our game between San Antonio and Jacksonville, and we'd like to remind you we have more United States Football League action right here on ESPN coming up Saturday night. The Oakland Invaders and Birmingham Stallions make their ESPN debut. The Invaders were riding high with a 4-1-1 record until they were upset last Saturday night in Portland. The Invaders had breakdowns in 2 areas. First, their defense gave up 3 touchdown passes to the Breakers' Matt Robinson, 2 of them going to tight end Dan Ross. Then Oakland's Bobby Hebert threw 4 interceptions on the night, breaking a string of 4 games where he did not have an interception at all. The Invaders must avoid these mistakes against the Stallions in Birmingham. Meanwhile, the Birmingham Stallions were ambushed by the San Antonio Gunslingers last Sunday. First, Stallion quarterback Cliff Stout was intercepted by defensive back Vic Minor. Tipped ball, Minor picks it up. Looks like he's going to go into the end zone for a TD. Well, he almost gets there. He fumbles, but Johnny on the spot is putt Choate. and it is a touchdown for San Antonio. Then place kicker Nick Mickemeyer added 3 field goals, but the Stallions still had a chance for a win when Danny Miller lined up for a 37-yarder with 1:42 left, but it was partially blocked by Greg Fields, and the 5-1 Stallions were suddenly 5-2, and they'll be itching to get back on the winning track Saturday against Oakland. That's live at 8 Eastern and 5 Pacific time. Jim Simpson and Paul McGuire will be there to call the action. Then, Monday night on ESPN, the Denver Gold invade Tampa Bay for a duel with the Bandits. The Gold come in tied for the lead in the Western Conference after a convincing win over Arizona last Monday night. After falling behind 7-0, Denver struck back with running back Billy Johnson tying the score, and Denver taking the lead for good on a Vince Evans to Mark Lewis touchdown pass. The Gold continued to pour it on in the second half, scoring 2 more TDs to put the game away. Vince Evans and the run-and-shoot offense are going in high gear and will give the Bandit defense plenty of headaches. Tampa Bay looking for their 3rd win in a row after the conquest of Jacksonville last week. Bandits had early trouble as John Reeves was intercepted twice in the first quarter. But late in the half, John Reeves will find Larry Brodsky. Look at this move after catching the football. 24 yards in the TD. And Gary Anderson also with the score made it 14-7 at the half. Then the versatile Anderson caught 2 second-half touchdown passes to put it away. The Bandit defense chipped in with 3 interceptions, including 2 from linebacker James Harrell. And their versatile offense and underrated defense could make it a long night for the Goal. Denver at Tampa Bay, Monday, April 15th at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific time. Mike Hafner will be joining me for the action there.
Welcome back to the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, everyone. I'm Tom Mees with Marv Levy. There's our score. The hometown Bulls lead it by 4, Marv, as we take a quick look at the halftime stats.
Very even game, really. San Antonio, 120 yards passing, unusual for them. Ed Luther has not thrown an interception, however. They don't have much passing yardage. Yardage total just about even. Time of possession very close to even. One unique stat. Jacksonville has rushed for a lot more yards, but they've only carried the ball 1 more time. Their running game has been more effective.
Nick Mickemeyer moves in for the second-half kickoff for San Antonio. It's sort of a squib kick. It's picked up the 15-yard line by Reggie Butts, and Butts is putted down, I guess you might say, over the 25-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 there for the Bulls. On their first-half possessions, you see that good field position equaled a successful drive for Jacksonville.
Both times they started outside their own 30, which is okay field position, not great, but good. They got touchdowns. Pretty good drives, pretty good marches to score those 2 times.
Reggie Butts returned the football to the 25-yard line, where it'll be 1st down and 10 for the Bulls there. The rain has stopped. Crowd filtering back in after getting some halftime refreshments. 7 for 10 in the first half for Luther. Only 48 yards, but on the positive end, he has not thrown an interception. I'm sure that makes he and head coach Lindy Infante very happy. Here's the give to Mason, who had a good first half. Flag in the defensive backfield as Mason breaks it for about an 8-yard gain before Ben Smith puts him down, but we'll have to see what the penalty is all about.
Holding 82 on the offense.
Mark Keel, the tight end, and so you can wipe out the gain, and it'll be 1st and long yardage.
I was about to say, I happened to be watching Mark Keel on that play, that he got a heck of a block. I didn't see the hold, but he did a good job of blocking on the play. Unfortunately, he probably used his hands more than he's allowed to.
So mark the ball back at the 15-yard line. A 10-yard penalty, be 1st down and 20. Not the kind of start that the Bulls wanted to have in the second half. They do lead it, but only by 4.
This is the kind of situation Lindy pointed out as being a very dangerous one for them. Deep in their own territory, very long yardage to go. San Antonio has really been productive in this type of situation.
Aubrey Matthews in for his first action of the game. He split to the top of the screen. Number 83, and the give coming out of the backfield is to Marvin Lewis. Lewis, the man who puts Jacksonville ahead late in the first half, is tackled by Clyde Johnson. Very little gain on that play. Called a gain of 4.
It was typical and consistent with the game plan that Lindy felt he had to have. Do not turn the ball over in his own territory is what he said. The one time that he did turn it over in the first quarter, San Antonio took it in for their only touchdown of the game.
And that was a 21-yard touchdown pass to Hackett. Mike Rozier not playing very much tonight. 5 chances rushing the football, only 26 yards. He's on the sideline. 2nd down and 15. Gain of 5 on that last play for Marvin Lewis. Luther straight back, hits Aubrey Matthews. Matthews is hit, and the football comes loose. They'll call it incomplete as Rock Richmond delivered a very tough hit to the kidney area.
There we see Luther back out from center. You know, people wonder, why does a quarterback back up sometimes and turn and sprint back? When they back up, they're doing one of two things. Their first primary receiver might be to the left, so they want to see him to the left, and they fear of blitz from the outside linebacker to their left, so they want to have vision on him rather than turning their back.
Third down and 15. This is the kind of play that San Antonio's defense loves. They play against the pass very well indeed. They get to the 35 for a first down. Luther looking over the middle. Now goes up the left sideline. He's got Alton Alexis in the area, and we're going to have a flag here. There's interference, but who is it on? Alton Alexis was swallowed up. Rock Richmond is down, and he's hurt.
The ball hung in the air. He threw it into the wind. Alexis had to slow up. Richmond jumping. He bumps him with the front of his body. They call pass interference on. He gets tangled up in there some way. Looks like his wrist or arm. No, he's grabbing his leg now. First he had his hands in at the side.
To add insult to the injury, Rock Richmond called for the interference. He's out at the University of Oregon. 5'10", 171-pounder, fourth year as a pro. And, let's hope it's not the knee. Jim Bates doesn't need that, does he? Well, 13:09 to go in the third quarter. Jacksonville moving the ball. They'll have a first down when we come back. Tough loss for the San Antonio Gunslingers as Rock Richmond is carried off. Problems with his left knee. We don't know the extent yet. Coming on at least initially to replace him, Mark McNeil, who again was just activated for this game, Mark.
He was just activated, and Jim Bates had told us really they were bringing him on now and hoping that he would develop and learn the system, but he's being forced into action tonight.
We'll find out if Mark McNeil will develop or not. He's a speedster from the University of Houston. He's in at that right cornerback position. First and 10, meanwhile, for Jacksonville. Remember, pass interference in the USFL is not from the point of the foul. It is a step off to the 35-yard line in this case, and Larry Mason carries it further. Up near another first down. Vic Miner brings him down in concert with Clyde Johnson, and it is a first down, gain of 10.5 yards.
This is a form of draw play, fullback filling. They bring the ball back to Mason, who's been running very well. Good north-south runner. I like those north-south runners that come from those little schools like Troy State. They earn every inch of the way. You got to admire them.
Well, Larry Mason is a true north-south runner in every sense of the word because he is running from north to south the way the field is laid out. First down and 10 up at the 46-yard line. Backs in the eye, and the pitch out goes to Mason. Gets a nice block from Lewis. However, Mason is cut down after a 3-yard gain. Ken Gillen in there, along with Ivan Lesnick. And it'll be second down and 8 yards to go. They give him only a gain of 2 on the play. There's Gillen. Big man, 6'4", 240, out of the University of Illinois. Alton Alexis has been conspicuous by his absence in the Jacksonville offense tonight. He's the leading receiver in the Eastern Conference.
In the first half, they only hit their wide receivers on 3 passes for 5, 5, and 4 yards.
Second down and 8, up at the 48 for the Bulls. Dump pass to Mason, got some blocking, and Larry Mason has another first down to the 39-yard line. Charles Armstead makes the hit for the San Antonio Gunslingers. It'll be first and 10 for Jacksonville.
Screen pass. Luther looking downfield, not very long, doesn't drop very deep, fires that ball out to Mason, number 66, George Collins, and Jay Pennison, 57 in front. And again, Mason heading straight for the goal line.
Nice block by Reggie Butts, the wide receiver in that play, coming back to help out Larry Mason. Going to get those plugs in for the little guys. First and 10 on the 40 of San Antonio for Jacksonville. Out to the flat he goes, and this one is to Marvin Lewis. And Lewis trying to do some maneuvering, cut down after a gain of 3 by Clyde Johnson. Johnson has been in on a lot of tackles since coming into the football game. Let's take a look at Bob Gruber.
Left tackle Bob Gruber squared off against Ken Gillen, 76 in the white in the center of your screen. It's a screen pass the other way. Gruber doing a very good job in stowing a lot of stick-to-itiveness in case the pass is completed and the receiver got downfield. He was going to try and block him again.
Jacksonville Bulls doing very well on the ground tonight so far. Have racked up, as we speak, 138 yards rushing the football. Second down and 6, gain of 4. Ball is on the 36-yard line of San Antonio. And the give is to Lewis again. Lewis fighting for more yardage. Jim Bob Morris had him wrapped up but couldn't quite bring him down until Lewis had gained almost 5 yards.
They're running the ball well again. They give it to Lewis. Again, Larry Mason blocking in front, running up over that left side where Bob Groover has been the most consistent lineman for the Jacksonville Bulls all year. Helps to open the hole.
Bud Schultz, Rich D'Amico come in. Ken Gillen, Ivan Lesnick go out. For San Antonio, 3rd and 2. There's Bud Schultz counting bodies, making sure there's not too many of them out there.
He was yelling, formation strong to our left, is what he was saying. The offensive right.
And the give to the running back, Mason, is not successful as Ben Smith breaks through and brings him down for a bit of a loss. With a high five and going out there on the defense.
Ben Smith, the nose tackle, filling in for injured Jeff Gaylord, comes around the center, between the center and Pennison and number 66, the left guard, makes a stop.
Well, 4th and 2, the fans are yelling, go, 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 and really it's not that much of a gamble here, Marv. You've got it on the 32, would be out of your field goal kicker's range against the wind, and really too short to punt the ball.
This is the right call. Yeah. This is the right call. You got to go for the first down. The field goal is very low percentage from this with this wind situation.
4th and 2 from the 32 for Jacksonville. Luther's going to throw for it, flag in the play, hold everything. Luther just throws the ball away. Might have been a dead ball foul.
Head ball start on the quarterback, number 11.
Luther disagreed.
Yep.
Luther trying to use a sharp voice inflection to pull the defense offside. Indeed, Ken Gillen came offside, but if the official determines that the quarterback is using inordinate movement as well as voice inflection, he's going to penalize the offense, which he did there.
Well, that means that instead of going for it, they're going to punt, which now is the right call. Well, all intents and purposes, I would think the stats would say go ahead and punt it, and Larry Swider is in there to do the honors.
No one knows whether they would have made that 4th down or not, but again, the penalty isn't just 5 yards. The entire tactical situation has changed. Ball possession may have stayed with Jacksonville in good field position, but the penalty means they're going to punt it away.
Well, let's see if Swider angles it toward the sideline. Marcus Bonner back in single safety for San Antonio at his own 10. He thinks Swider's going to try and knock it out. And he tries it, but the ball gets into the end zone and out. So San Antonio's defense comes up strong again. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Gunslingers at their own 20, and again a flag is on the field.
Number 60.
Illegal procedure against Jacksonville. I would think that this would be declined, and San Antonio would take it 1st and 10 at their 20. It is. So with 8:26 to go in the 3rd quarter, it's 14-10 Jacksonville. There's our situation. 8:26 remaining 3rd quarter. I'm Tom Mees with Marv Levy. We're at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville as San Antonio, trailing by 4, Marv, starts 1st and 10 at their 20.
Well, they've got the long way to go. This is what Jacksonville wanted to make them do. Have to go the long way.
Brock Richmond, injured defender for San Antonio, left knee injury. Don't know how serious, but he won't return tonight. Next in the I formation, George Wirtz takes the handoff. The man who had a good first half gets away from would-be tacklers and picks up the hardest 6 yards I think I've seen. Chester G. was there in company with Vaughn Johnson to help make the stop. George Wirtz living up to his last name on that play.
Here's James Haddon at the tight end. They're running to their left. He's a little slow off the ball, but he slips inside to pick up the inside linebacker, or the offside linebacker, really. Tom Dinkle gets a very good block on him, and works when he has that ball under his arm.
2nd down and 4. That's the perfect game for a running back if you're doing well. You're working. Folks up in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan have to be proud to see George Wirtz having a good day in pro football. A little bit of a mix-up on the snap. Neuheisel, though, controls, got plenty of time. Over the middle, has his man, and that is George Wirtz again. Wirtz has the 1st down over the 35 to the 36, where Tom Dinkle and Chester G. meet him again, but not before he picks up the needed yardage. So Neuheisel going to his back on the play out of the backfield, and it works for 1st down up to the 35-yard line. Jacksonville defense is only rated number 13 in the USFL, and that is next to last, so they can be worked against.
Both teams playing utilizing a similar game plan right here.
Canada and Wirtz are the setbacks. Gordon and Kevin Williams are the split receivers, and they give it to Larry Canada. Canada bowls for 2 or 3 yards.
Thank you.
Don Veselo and Bob Nelson combined to bring him down. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Joe Costello also in there. Larry Canada, veteran. Football fans in Denver know him well. He played for both the NFL Broncos and the USFL Denver Gold. Picked up 3 yards on that last play. Quick snap count this time, and they give us to Works. Works steps out to his left, and he has maybe another first down. Yes, he does. He has the yardage at the 47. Mark Harper from his right cornerback. Knocked him out of bounds, but another impressive run by George Works as he took it to the outside. There was no room on the inside.
He got some good blocking from his wide receivers on that play, and those little guys have to do some blocking. We used to tell our wide receivers, Tom, those linemen are the guys that are the 4- and 5-yard blockers. You get the touchdown blocks. If that play bounces out there and you get your block, we're going a long way.
And you don't have to knock the guy flat on his can either. You can just use an influence block and get in his way. Using the vernacular there, Mark. First and 10 at the 46. Neuheisel coming out throwing, and he has Larry Canada out of the backfield, and Canada is into Jacksonville territory. At the 48, Curtis Anderson, left defensive end, makes the tackle, so San Antonio sort of nickel and diming their way down the field.
Both teams making extensive use of the screen pass, a relatively safe pass. Neuheisel looking to his own right, turns at the last mile, fires it out there to Larry Canada. We see an inside man trying to get a piece of Costello. He at least screens him off. He doesn't get the block, but Canada ducks in behind that guard coming out to gain some good yardage.
Gain of 5, 2nd and 5. Gunslingers. On the pitch out to Works. He's got Canada in front of him. George Works has got the first down to the 41-yard line. Terry Beeson and Tom Dinkel there to make the tackle.
Larry Canada, the fullback, number 35, leading the play for George Works, gets an excellent block on the strong safety on the outside, and then Works heading back upfield, doing a yeoman job. James Hadnot had a fine block on the play. Also, we see him firing here into the outside linebacker, number 53, Mike Edwards, sticking with him. Probably no one has to maintain their block longer than a tight end because that sweep takes a long time to get to the corner.
First and 10 for the San Antonio Gunslingers at the 41-yard line of Jacksonville. This drive that began back on the San Antonio 20-yard line. Neuheisel under pressure. He just unloaded. He was looking for Hadnot, the tight end, but I think Rick threw that one away.
The ball was tipped, I believe, by somebody rushing up to them.
Pressure that time on Neuheisel.
Again, looking for that short pass game, both these teams. James Hadnot fakes a block, then slips out late, being covered by Terry Beeson from one side and Chester G on the other, but the ball was tipped away and had no chance to get it.
And nose tackle Bob Nelson, while that was going on, was busy getting in the face of Rick Neuheisel to force him to throw it before he wanted to. It's 2nd down and 10. Give on the delay to Canada. Look out, he's in the open field and dragging him down inside the 20 is Mark Harper. Big Larry Canada rumbles up the middle for the first down.
Larry is a good draw ball carrier. He was 6th in the USFL last year in rushing, over 900 yards. Slips over, he's run this play a lot. Pretty good move for a big man. Now he puts another move on Besselou, who would have had to make another tackle. He doesn't have a lot of speed, but he has good acceleration. There's Spivey turning Millard out. Millard on an upfield rush. Uses his hands, which he's allowed to do since the quarterback drops back in the pocket. Tackle finally being made there by Mark Harper, who gives away a lot of weight to big Larry Canada.
Very nice concerted drive by San Antonio, starting back at their own 20. They now have it 1st and 10 of the Jacksonville 18. And the reverse to the wide receiver, Jerry Gordon. And the Bulls play it well. They contain Gordon very well. Joe Costello and Don Besselou doing the job.
PG Don Besselou, a veteran of many campaigns, read that pretty well, inverted from the free safety spot, and was able to make the stop. We start that sweep to Works again. Larry Canada leading the way. They give it to Jerry Gordon, coming back around. It was Don Roberts rather than Works. Coming back around with Besselou, read the play, moves over there. Mark Harper again, who's getting in on a lot of plays, there to help out along with Joe Costello, 99.
Well, Mark Harper was a busy man last Saturday night, trying to defend against John Reeves and company in Tampa Bay. And Don Besselou, well, yeah, they say he makes a lot of big plays. He made a big one that time. 2nd down 11. They actually lost the yard on that back at the 19. Neuheisel looking for the end zone to Roberts, and it is incomplete and almost intercepted. Derek Batiste East was back there defending. He was the only man who really had a chance to catch it. It'll be third down.
They had a man covering underneath Roberts, as you can see, number 40 Harper. Batiste covering behind him. That would have. I don't know if you could have gotten that ball in there. It would have had to be an absolutely perfect throw and a fine catch while being jostled.
And Keith Millard was busy putting pressure on the quarterback Neuheisel, so it's third down, 11 at the 19.
They're going to double cover Roberts in passing situations. They feel that Roberts is the most dangerous receiver they have.
And you had a brief look there at Keith Millard, number 1 draft pick. Signee by the Bulls out of Washington State. Also number 1 pick of the Minnesota Vikings in the NFL. Third and 11. Neuheisel rolling right. He's got his man. It's Gordon. He's wide open. And touchdown, San Antonio. Look at little Larry Gordon. He gives the ball to the big offensive lineman. Ralph Williams, who spikes it.
Well, again, the old nemesis, which has played the Bulls all season, the big play and third down where they've had a great deal of trouble. Neuheisel sprinting out to his right, not much pressure on him. He throws back across his body. Gordon started outside, came back underneath with Van Jakes covering him, wiggles his way into the end zone. And they did, by the way, what Jacksonville felt they had to make them do, go a long way to march for a touchdown. They didn't feel that they could do it, but they also were going against a weak defensive team.
Well, we got 2 men down. We got 1 from each team, and they're working on the left knee of a fellow from San Antonio. The numbers are obscured. We'll try and get them for you as soon as we can. Meanwhile, there's a happy man, Jerry Gordon, third-year man out of Grambling. We'll be back to check out the injured players in a moment. Our score, San Antonio leads it 16-14. Shock crowd here at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville as San Antonio has just marched 80 yards. The clincher, a touchdown pass of 19 yards by Neuheisel to Jerry Gordon. And a happy man out of Grambling on the sideline. 6-footer, 190 pounds, lots of speed, made a nice catch. Nick Mickemeyer, well, he's 1 for 1 on extra points tonight, and he's been perfect on extra points this season. Snap is down, kick is up, and the kick is good. So San Antonio has that 3-point margin back. 17-14, Gunslingers. 2:52 to go in the third quarter. We'll be back to Jacksonville in a moment. On that touchdown play, we had a couple of injured players. Tight end James Hadnot got kicked across the shins. He walked off under his own power. And we also had an injured player, Mark Harper, for Jacksonville. He got the wind knocked out of him. He'll be okay. All right, kicking off is Nick Mickemeyer. Back to receive. Harry Kemp and Reggie Plutz standing near the Jacksonville goal line. Mickemeyer squibs it along the ground again, and it's picked up by one of the up men. That is, I will find out who it is in a second. I believe Reggie Oliver. No, that is Tom Dinkle. Dinkle, the linebacker, got a chance to carry the football. Doesn't go too far with it, but he has excellent field position for his club at the 38-yard line. Scoring drive for San Antonio. Very impressive indeed, Barb. 11 plays, 80 yards, 5.5 minutes, and a 19-yarder from Neuheisel to Gordon.
Very impressive drive by them. They ran the ball. They mixed their plays very well. Scored with a nice touchdown pass. Good run tacked down to the end of the catch by Gordon.
We understand unofficially, but I believe it would be true. That's the longest drive of the year for San Antonio, an 80-yard scoring march. Give to Larry Mason for Jacksonville as the Bulls keep it on the ground where they've been successful, and Mason cuts it up for a gain of 4 or 5 yards, and Ben Smith, by tackle, hauls him down to the earth.
2 relatively unheralded backs are carrying the load tonight. George Works for the Gunslingers, and here Larry Mason stepping in and doing a very good job for Jacksonville.
Larry Mason played his college ball at Troy State of Alabama. Year in and year out, a Division II college football power. Second down and 5. Clark and Alton Alexis are split to the bottom of the screen on the left side of the line of scrimmage. Luther looking that way, but dumps it to Mason instead. He's got some blocking. Larry Mason got the first down into Gunslinger territory at the 47. Cut choke. Brings him down, so both teams almost on offense look like a mirror image of each other, the way they're moving the ball down the field.
Using the screen a lot. The San Antonio defenders are really running off with the wide receiver, so that once Mason catches the ball, all that support that the wide receivers would normally give is gone. He has a lot of running room, and he does a lot with it. Now, Pachote, number 55, the only man on your screen, reads the fact that there is a screen developing, but there are a lot of blockers out in front. He still manages to ward them off and get in on the tackle.
1st and 10 for the Bulls at the San Antonio 47. You got to respect those wide receivers because they can burn you deep. Luther looking for one of his wide receivers now. That's Alton Alexis. He can get up and run with it, and he does. He's got a first down. Charles Armstead runs him out at the 31-yard line as Alton Alexis, who came into this game with 36 catches this year, has his longest catch of the night.
He put a very good move on Armstead, and then when he broke to the outside, Armstead tried to plant. He fell down, got back up quickly, but not in time to break up the play.
17-yard play, first down and 10 at the 31-yard line. So the Bulls give up a lot of points, but their offense is looking better than it has the last 2 or 3 weeks as far as coming right back to score again. 56 seconds left in the quarter. Luther under a rush, has it off over the middle to Perry Kemp. He makes the catch and takes a hard hit from Clyde Johnson, who just shoves him down with authority. Also, Peter Rayford. Might have been Rayford, now that I think about it.
San Antonio's trying to break the rhythm of the drive here, and we'll see they blitz their inside linebackers, both D'Amico and Choate coming. A great pickup of the blitz by Larry Mason. They were also blitzing their nickelback, number 28, Jim Bob Morris. Here's Choate, 55 blitzing. We'll see 32 coming into the screen to pick him up. You see Jim Bob Morris, 28, unblocked. That's why the quarterback unloaded the ball so quickly, Ed Luther.
2nd down and 5, gain of 5 for Perry Kemp, and Rayford did make that tackle. 15 seconds left in the quarter. Luther on the play fake. Going to the right, he's got Gary Clark. Gary Clark has got the first down at the 15-yard line. Brad Anai takes the tackle, and that should be the last play of the 3rd quarter. 3, 2, 1, and the 3rd quarter is history. But the Jacksonville Bulls are driving. Our score after 3, San Antonio 17, Jacksonville 14.
There's a professional football league that believes having fun is the most important business at hand. The USFL, where football is still a game.
As we start the 4th quarter here at the Gator Bowl, the home team is losing but driving, and the attendance tonight with the threatening weather, not bad. For a 2-5 football team, they draw very well here in Jacksonville, over 32,000. As the cheerleaders try and urge the Bulls on, I'm Tom Mees with Marv Levy. 1st and 10 for Jacksonville at the San Antonio 15. Rather untypical ball game. Marv will have a comment on that in a moment. Luther looks over the middle to Alton Alexis, and Alexis may have the first down. He turned Charles Armstead around with a great fake to the inside and back to the outside.
There was a safety blitz on the play, Vic Minor, and when that happens, everything is man-to-man, something that San Antonio didn't want to be in. It means you have to unload in a hurry. He hits Alexis. Armstead was laying way off. He fears Alexis's speed, closes in on him, but got that first down.
Marv, we have Jacksonville moving the ball rather easily, at least in the second half, against the #1 defense in the league.
That's right. San Antonio, strong defense, are being moved against. San Antonio, not much of an offense. They're moving the ball pretty well. So there are contradictions of what's happened prior to this game.
Well, close to the goal line. 1st and goal at 5. Michael Whiting comes in at fullback for Jacksonville. It's he and Larry Mason. Whiting has 1 touchdown already tonight. 1-yard run early on. It's Mason, and Mason picks up around 3 yards. Brad Anai brings him down at about the 2-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and goal. Well, Jim Bates having the look of a worried man on the sidelines. You've been in that position before.
I certainly have. Worried plenty, particularly with his team now. It's in the 4th quarter. If Jacksonville can score, he still doesn't have a lot of offensive punch. He's concerned about being able to come back after that. He's relying on his defense now.
2nd down and goal from the 3. The give is to Mason again. The touchdown, Jacksonville. Well, it must be in vogue to let the lineman go ahead and spike it because he handed it to A.B. Richards, who made the spike, and Jacksonville's back in the lead.
Over the left side again. Over the left side where they've been running. Again now being led in there by Mike Whiting, who came in on the goal line, number 27. Here the two lines teeing off. Note the low charges by the defense and the offense. Has to get down with them. Larry Mason's doing a great job of finding that crease. And again, running hard over the left side with George Collins and Bob Gruber.
Well, Brian Franco hits the extra point to give him the 4-point lead. Our score, 21-17, Jacksonville. Well, next Friday night, Marv Levy, you'll be at the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, along with Fred Manfred. What should be a great battle. Doug Flutie, Herschel Walker, and the New Jersey Generals against the beleaguered Memphis Showboats of Pepper Rogers, who started out great and have lost 4 in a row coming into this weekend.
Yeah, and they have a tough schedule facing them the rest of the way, or at least during this middle part of the season. But you usually play up to your potential in those kind of situations.
Memphis has to be on the road at Baltimore on Sunday. That'll be a revenge game for Baltimore. Marcus Bonner takes the kickoff from Brian Franco. He's dangerous, but he's hemmed in at the 20-yard line. Mike Whiting on the special teams comes down to make the tackle on that scoring drive for Jacksonville. Another nice drive, 62 yards, 11 plays, 4 minutes, 1 second. Mason, the 2-yard run.
One thing I might point out, remember, just prior to that drive, San Antonio kicked the squib kick, and even though it wasn't returned it a long way, they started with real good field position. I feel it was sort of early in the game to kick that kind of ball because Jacksonville hasn't been particularly outstanding as a kickoff return team.
And all 3 of the scoring drives for Jacksonville tonight have come when they've had the possession outside the 30-yard line. First and 10 at the 20 for San Antonio. Gordon, a man in motion to give us the works, and Tom Dinkel throws him for a big loss. Excellent play by the former Cincinnati Bengal linebacker Tom Dinkel.
Getting another look at it, we pull both the offside guard and tackle. Ball is giving here to work, but Dinkel slides inside the block of the tight end to make the play. Big loss for San Antonio in the hole. Now what you hope for if you're Jacksonville is that they have to gamble and they make the big turnover and broke it over.
Revealing stat there, Marv. And Jacksonville can hold its opponents to 17 points or less, they're going to win. That's what it's proven out to be. Right now, San Antonio has 17. So we'll see what happens tonight. Neuheisel over the middle is looking for Wirtz, and it is incomplete. Juan Johnson was on the coverage. He may have gotten a hand on it, I don't know, but it's 3rd down and long coming up.
There were a lot of red shirts around. It was a ball you're trying to force in there. Neuheisel comes back with a semi-sprint. He tries to make everybody think he's going to his right, but he throws that ball back in there, and you see Vaughn Johnson closing in. Actually, the ball does hit the receiver right above the knees. It's a good throw through an opening. From the vantage point of that screen, it was certainly a better thrown ball than I would have thought looking at it from the side up here.
You can see the noise being made in the Gator Bowl. Our cameraman is shaking up there, taking a shot of the scoreboard, and this Jacksonville defense is really getting emotional. They're very hopped up. Neuheisel under furious rush, has to get it away. Penalty flags intended for Stamper. The pass is no good. And look at Keith Millard and Bob Nelson. They're the ones that put the rush on Neuheisel.
Watch Millard on this. He really comes on this pass rush.
71 on the offense. Penalties decline. 4th down.
Ralph Williams. Here you see Millard, 93, right in the middle of your screen, rushing very hard against Lee Spivey. He's by him in the wink of an eye. Neuheisel trying to avoid the sack, just unloads. Sometimes that can lead to an interception, but he did put it down to bare ground so that he didn't at least get the key interception in the play.
That is the finest defensive series, certainly of the night, maybe in the last 3 weeks for Jacksonville.
They're cranked up now.
Mickemeyer back to punt. He should get it away from about his 6 or 7 yard line. Budson Kemper back to receive, and Jacksonville will come away unless there's a turnover with excellent field position. No rush on Mickemeyer. It's a high, short kick. Fair catch by Gary Clark. Gary Clark comes up to make the fair catch. 1st and 10 for Jacksonville at their own 48-yard line. 12 minutes, 2 seconds left. The Bulls on top by 4 in Jacksonville. Jacksonville Bulls with the lead on the ball, Marv, and taking advantage of good field position again.
They've got excellent field position. Nick Mickemeyer standing there, number 5, has been pressed into duty as both a punter and a field goal kicker. And Tom, I haven't seen many instances when a player has to perform as a dual kicker that his performance after a while begins to erode. He's okay for a couple weeks, then his field goal kicking falls off and his punting. That was a 35-yard punt giving Jacksonville excellent field position.
The only one I can think that does it well in this league week in and week out, and that's Zenon Anderson of Tampa Bay. But that's about the only one I can think of. 1st and 10 for the Bulls on their own 48-yard line, and Luther is looking to pass. Mason slips down over there on the coverage, Jim Bob Morris. But that's not Ed Luther's fault. Mason just slipped. Second and 10.
It's a play-action pass. Mason was the outlet receiver. That's the type of pass you try and get the secondary to come up and stop the trap. Hope that they're very eager and aggressive if they have to get the ball and hit the deep route. It was covered. San Antonio continues to cover the deep route. He tried to go to Mason, but Mason fell down.
21-17. The Bulls have it. Have the lead and the ball. Second down and 10. Still lots of time left in this football game, over 11 minutes. So movement on the San Antonio line. Flags go down. The pass complete to Mason. Mason picks up around 5 yards. Clyde Johnson may have been offside. Whether he was drawn or not, we don't know. Putt Schultz makes the tackle.
Clyde Johnson was going to blitz from the outside safety blitz.
Defense, number 32 is offside.
Going to blitz, and his foot got across the line before he could bring it back. Here we see the outside. See Johnson here right in the middle of your screen. Start to step across. Before he can get his foot back, the ball is snapped. Mark Hill tries to turn out on him, but the damage is done so far as San Antonio is concerned.
Well, they'll take the penalty to keep the down the same. So instead of second and 10, it'll still be second down, but only 5 yards. All things being equal on the pass completion, they'd rather have the extra down. Well, look at that. A very high completion rate, but that blue 0. Very, very good news for Jacksonville. No interceptions tonight for Ed Luther. He's thrown 8 of them in the last 2 weeks. Here's Larry Mason again. Larry Mason running real hard, and he's got the first down. Peter Rayford brings him down at the 35-yard line. First and 10 for Jacksonville.
Well, he sure put on the hero's mantle tonight, stepping into for Mike Brazier. He's going to come up over there, left side. Marvin Lewis leading the play. Nothing there. Mason makes a good move, then keeps running hard, running out of the grasp of number 51, Rick D'Amico. Finally being brought down by Peter Rayford, number 20.
So the clock keeps moving, and so do the Jacksonville Bulls. Tell you, they go in and score a touchdown on this drive, it's going to be very tough for San Antonio because while they played a lot better than usual on offense tonight, they're not a good come-from-behind team. Luther gets it to Marvin Lewis in the flat. You know, that play has been working all night long, just throwing that little dump pass, and we got flags in the field now as Ben Smith made the tackle. You would think San Antonio would learn how to defend that play better.
Well, the reason it works is they're playing zone and they're dropping deep. They're trying to take the deep routes away, and that's what you do is you go to the screen pass when you do it. We once ran 12 screens against San Diego Chargers.
Number 79, it will still be first down.
Well, A.V. Richards, the guilty party.
Here you see A.V. Richards coming in very late after the play, taking a shot that does deserve to be penalized. That is a late hit.
Against Putt Schultz.
Against Putt Schultz, takes him well back now, making it much more difficult.
Good night, Irene. A.V. Richards. I tell you, you got your penalties worth there, A.V. You really knocked him down flat. You were mentioning you ran 12 screen plays in a row one time?
Against the San Diego Chargers, who were playing nothing but a deep drop zone that night. Or that day, I should say.
Don't play too many night games in the other league. First down and 15. Ball back in the 41-yard line, so that penalty really hurts the Jacksonville drive. Luther looked around for somebody to hand off to. Nobody was there, so he dumps it to Perry Kemp. And Clyde Johnson makes the tackle at the 36-yard line.
I think Luther was going to run a fake draw, but the fullback came up the wrong side of him. So when he whirled, there was no one there. So he faked to the air and then threw to the and aired out the ball.
Larry Clark comes out of the lineup. Larry Mason comes back in.
Luther turns out to his own left, but the fullback had gone on up Luther's right side.
And Marvin Lewis, who I guess zigged when he should have zagged. So it is second down and 19. Kemp and Alton Alexis both split out at the top of your screen. The wide receivers haven't seen much business tonight. Again, the dump in the flat. Again to Mason. And again, he's got good yardage, although not the first down. He's down inside the 30. Charles Armstead and Jim Bob Morris bring him down about 4 yards short of the first down.
He's been getting some great block from the left guard, number 66, George Collins, in these plays. Here he again. Fires the ball out there to Mason. You see Collins come into the screen and try and get a block there on the widest man, Putt Choate. Now, the two wide receivers driving downfield. Their men begin to drop with them until they see the screen. Putt Choate had read it, but short gain on the play.
Well, those two helped tie up 4 defenders and helped Mason get some yardage. It is third down and about 5 yards to go. Flags again and hold everything. Ivan Lesnick, number 95, charged across, but was he drawn? Jeff Chafin, San Antonio, signaling it's against Jacksonville.
79 on the offense.
And the false start by A.B. Richards. He must be hot at somebody down there. He can't wait to start hitting people.
Well, he's a rookie in his first start. There you see him move right in the lower part of your screen. Luther used a sharp voice command trying to draw the defense off, and Richards responded to the sharp voice.
So the down will move up to third down now. Ball just inside the 35-yard line. Third down and 8 to go. They have to get to the 25.
Here we see Ed Luther, 77% completion. Not much yardage per completion, which is usually a gauge of how well you're doing, but considering their game plan tonight, very good.
Third down and 10 make it, not third and 8. Luther unloading it, falls into Alexis. He threw that away. Is it intercepted or not? They call it an interception by Vic Miner. So, Ed Luther throws the interception in San Antonio territory. He's just trying to throw that away.
Here we see Luther dropping, lofts the ball on a corner pattern, overthrows it, and a very fine play by Vic Miner. Get that second foot down, just barely.
All right, the official's right on the scene. He calls it the interception. 21-17 Jacksonville, San Antonio with the ball. Vic Miner comes up with the interception for San Antonio. The question is, was he in bounds or not?
Well, here we see the left foot definitely in. I thought the right foot touches the white line.
I thought he dragged the ground just before he got over there, so you say he was out, I say he was in.
All right, in such a situation, if there were a red flag, the play would stand as is, because it is supposed to decisively show that the play should be changed if indeed you change it.
But for the record, there was no challenge on the play by Lindy Infante. It is first down and 10 San Antonio, but they're deep in their own territory at the 6, trailing 21-17. And the give is to George Works. And Works does a nice job to run it out of there to the 11-yard line. Don Besselou lands on top of him. A gain of about 5 on the play. Well, only one interception on the night for Ed Luther, but it came while Jacksonville had the ball and really could have gone in for the clinching touchdown had they scored that time.
Well, they might have had a field goal attempt, too, which would have put them up by 7. Put them a little bit more firmly in the driver's seat, too.
7:41 left in this game. Gunslingers drove 80 yards already in this half for a touchdown. They're going to get it on this drive. They're going to have to go 94 yards. Here is Roberts. And Roberts, I believe, has the first down. He stays in bounds. Chester G brings him down, but a good run by Don Roberts. So San Antonio getting out of the hole.
Roberts primarily used as a pass receiver. Following Larry Canada, 35 out here. Here's Roberts, 43. Senses where that stripe is and lunges just enough. You see him reach that ball out there. Sometimes that can be dangerous, too. You might come free from the ball, but picks it up.
Well, the first down is had up at the 18-yard line. Clock rolling under 7 minutes to go. Fake on the play, fake to Works, and Neuheisel loading it up, looking for George Works. He makes a nice catch out of the backfield. Vaughn Johnson plants him, but George Works picks up 8 tough yards.
He's definitely just an outlet receiver on that play. Here's a fake to him. He looks for a linebacker blitzing. You saw Neuheisel look downfield. The deep men were covered. He's supposed to find a short seam as an outlet receiver. It's hard to get your quarterback to look for that guy short.
Well, there's a big development for Jacksonville and San Antonio. The biggest pass rusher and the best one in the game, Keith Millard, is hobbling on the sidelines. Well, that's Rick Neuheisel's got a smile when he sees that.
Well, Ike Griffin came in and did a pretty good job towards the end of the first half. He's in there now.
Neuheisel, he's under pressure, lets it go over the middle, and this ball is intercepted. Intercepted by Van Jakes. And great pressure was put on by Ike Griffin and Curtis Anderson. So the pass rush, as we talked about Millard,
fake. He double pumps it here because his receiver isn't open. It gives Griffin enough time to come in from the backside. Takes a lot of steam off the ball, enough so that Jakes, who is facing this way, is able to close on the ball much better than the receiver. Here we get another look after the fake. We'll see Griffin come into the screen from the backside on Neuheisel. Can't follow through. So Griffin replacing Millard comes up with a big play.
Turnabout is fair play, says Van Jakes. Interception, Jacksonville. We'll be back with the Bull Drive in a moment. San Antonio challenged that play.
Play stands as ruled. San Antonio will be charged with a timeout.
While we were away, Coach Jim Bates challenged that play. He did not think it was an interception, and the official took a look at our replay, and this is what he saw.
Well, Neuheisel's going to keep seeing stars again, but let's see what the official saw. Jakes seeing the ball, starts to close in on it. All the way, it's an interception. He rolled over and turned his back to the San Antonio bench, and I thought the San Antonio people maybe had seen something we couldn't see because they're very close to it, but they were screened off from it by Van Jakes' back.
No question that was a legal interception, and because the challenge was made and San Antonio was wrong in the officials' eyes, they're charged with a timeout, which could cost them dearly later. We have 5:58 to go, and San Antonio trails by 4. Jacksonville with the ball. And that is Marvin Lewis with a handoff. Putt Choate puts him down after a gain of around 4.
About this time now, Tom, at least, San Antonio has to come out of their defensive game plan. They got to start blitzing. They got to start bringing defensive backs. They got to start bringing their inside backers. They got to start trying to make Luther put the ball up quickly and hope they can get an interception, even though they're risking a big play against them.
Yeah. Perry Kemp, Aubrey Matthews, Alton Alexis, Gary Clark. A lot of speedy weapons on the outside for Ed Luther to use. Gain of 3 on the play by Lewis. He's second out and 7. Lewis, the lone setback, gets it again, has to cut it back outside, and does a nice job inside the 40 to the 39. Clyde Johnson brings him down near the 38-yard line. It appears that Marvin Lewis picked up the first down.
Another look at, there's a lot of blitzing going on. If you can run well against the blitz, you can run against anything. The blitz is very strong against the inside run, but Lewis, again, as we pointed out, is a big, strong man, and he rings good yardage out of it, enough for a first down, enough to burn a lot of time off the clock, enough to maintain continually improving field position.
Jacksonville has 3 touchdowns tonight, Marv. They've been scored by 3 different running backs, and none of those scores was scored by Mike Rozier. None of those touchdowns was running by Rozier, who hasn't played very much tonight. This is Mason. It's been Mason and Lewis most of the night. Mason a pickup of 1 or 2. Tommy Tabor.
San Antonio bringing those linebackers every down right now, either the outside people or the inside, trying to force a mistake.
We have a penalty and a personal foul called against San Antonio. Bill Parkinson's mic not on yet. That was a preliminary indication. Maybe he'll tell us. Here's Putt Choate. Could it be against he? This is really, this could be the death knell now because it gives Jacksonville a first down at the 22. That's a big 15-yarder. Take a look, see if we can see what happens.
Here we see Putt Choate. I guess they call him for using his helmet. Oh.
How do you do? That may be it. We did not get a call from Bill Parkinson on the microphone. How did it?
No comment. No comment.
We don't know for sure.
I didn't see that much go wrong.
First and 10 down at the 22. The give is to Lewis, and Lewis bowls ahead before Jim Bob Morris makes the tackle at the 14-yard line. Pickup of around 8 yards on the play.
Lewis again, running very strong. Boy, you love to have a fullback like this. That one was a little later than the one that was called before, in my opinion.
I'll tell you, lucky thing they got the face masks on out there tonight. Clock running.
Big thing is they're burning that clock and making it farther and farther for San Antonio to go if indeed they get the ball back.
Second down and 3 from the 15. Here comes the blitz, and there goes Lewis, and Lewis doesn't have a big hole, but he's got enough to pick up the first down. Vic Miner and Jim Bob Morris bring him down as the Bulls offensive line really doing a nice job. George Collins, Bob Gruber, Jay Pennison at center, J.T. Turner, the former Giant, at right guard, and A.B. Richards.
Overall, I think A.B. Richards has come in and done a very good job for a rookie having to start for the first time replacing a veteran player like Roy Simmons.
A.B. Richards, 6'4", 265, but a rookie out of North Carolina State. First and 10 Bulls at the 11-yard line. 2:40 and running here in Jacksonville. Game has moved very swiftly indeed, and here goes Larry Mason. Mason inside the 10, down to the 7 or 8 yard line. Vic Minor with the tackle.
Defensive secondary moving up. Jim Bates really searching his own mind for what they can do. What they got to do is stop. It's going to go down to the 2-minute mark here in just a moment. It's certainly not hopeless, but it's getting close.
Ed Luther just strolling towards the sidelines. The Bulls are going to let the clock run down to the 2-minute mark. So, with 2 minutes to go in this game at Jacksonville tonight, our score, Jacksonville 21, San Antonio 17. We'll be back in a moment. No, not near a full house tonight in Jacksonville, but a good turnout nonetheless, over 32,000. As Mike Rozier hasn't played much, we've alluded to it. He has a dislocated finger now, we've learned. He had finger problems coming in on his left hand in this game.
Yes, he had ligaments that were very weakened, and apparently they could not support the finger. It dislocated. So far as Jacksonville is concerned, Larry Mason, Marvin Lewis have stepped in and done a very fine job. I doubt very much they're going to put the ball up here in the next several downs.
Second down.
Don't depend on me to do it.
And 6 from the 7. Well, somebody doesn't want to be depended on. Heard that. They can get a first down at the 1-yard line from Jacksonville. Give us to Mason. Mason inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. They're just grinding it out now. Peter Rayford makes the tackle. Both these teams will be on the road next week. San Antonio will be in Oakland to deal with Bobby Aver, Anthony Carter and company, and Jacksonville will take about an hour and a half, 2-hour bus ride to Orlando. San Antonio is called timeout with 1:46 to go in the game. And we're going to call timeout right now. I'm Tom Mees with Marv Levy. We'll be back to finish up the action in Florida in a moment. 1 minute 46 seconds left from the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville. Bulls coming in with a record of 2-5. Drew pretty well tonight over 32,000. There you see the timeouts remaining. Jacksonville sitting in the catbird seat, as Red Barber used to say. San Antonio has their back up against the wall. 3rd down and 4 from the 5 for Jacksonville. Look at 3rd and 3. Oh, Ed Luther surprising a lot of people, rolling out. He's going to keep it for the touchdown. Well, that may be just what the doctor ordered for Ed Luther, Marv Levy. He's had a good night throwing the ball, and he caps it off with a running touchdown.
That sure could do a lot to bolster his confidence. He's played well. He's executed the game plan. Here we see him again. I said before the play, there's not a chance in the world to you that he'll throw the ball. Well, he didn't, but he came out with the intention of possibly doing it. And defenders fall off. He runs it into the corner of the end zone. Lindsey constructed a very good game plan designed to building the confidence of a quarterback who might be having some confidence problems.
Did you see the block that J.T. Turner threw to allow Luther to get in the end zone? It was a crusher, and Brian Franco applies the extra point. And now Jacksonville is in a very enviable position, leading 28-17, but there's a flag on the extra point play. Now Bill Parkinson calling over Gruber. Gruber, the left offensive tackle, may be assessed on the kickoff. Personal foul San Antonio. And the penalty will be assessed on the kickoff if I read Bill Parkinson's lips correctly.
Here we get another look at the touchdown. Gruber coming out, faking a handoff to Larry Mason. The receivers are out, but the defenders fall off. An excellent block out in front by J.T. Turner, number 68, a veteran of many campaigns with the New York Giants. Playing very good, solid football. Gruber and J.T. Turner have really helped to anchor this line, particularly when there have been injuries to fellas like Howell and Simmons.
All those fans who went to the Giant games for all those years and watched J.T. Turner, we can tell you in the New York area, he is alive and well in Jacksonville, where it is a bit warmer than New York this time of year.
Well, this penalty almost negates any possibility of a kickoff return. Franco ought to just try and put it out of the end zone here.
Look at this. The ball falls off the tee. I tell you, I did a game in Memphis a few weeks ago. You get all set for the opening kickoff, and the fella comes up to kick it, and the ball falls off right before he was in his motion, so it looked like he just missed it, and it happens again here. Well, Ed Luther's smiling, and why not? 18 of 23, passing, 121 yards. Not great yardage statistics, but only one interception, and he's really handled the offense well tonight.
Very much so.
And Franco, well, Marcus Bonner just goes back and tries to catch it, but it doesn't matter. It's out of the back of the end zone. First and 10 for San Antonio at the 20. Jim Bates, well, his team played well here tonight. I think offensively he has to be encouraged, Mar, but defensively he has maybe some questions to answer about letting Jacksonville roll down the field on 3 long drives.
Well, they've moved the ball better, certainly, but that's no solace at all when you don't win the game. This man is wringing every bit of ability out of the players he has, and it hurts. They've come off 2 big wins, and now you're going to have to forget about those. Get ready for next week.
And next week is the Oakland Invaders in Oakland. You'll see that game on ESPN. That's a week from Monday night. Neuheisel out of the shotgun, and Neuheisel is brought down. Ike Griffin gets him from behind. Ike Griffin really teed off, and look at Keith Millard.
This is when the pass rushers love it, those defensive linemen. Everybody, you know you're going to pass, you get in your sprinter stance, you come flying off the ball. Not even worried about the run.
I stand corrected. That was Millard on the sack. Millard on the sack. He had 6 of them coming in. Now here's Terry Beeson tackling Don Roberts as Millard was putting heavy pressure on Neuheisel again.
On defense now, you love to have them complete those. They don't have much other choice.
Under a minute to play now. The clock is running. Second down and the third down. And 15 for San Antonio. And here's the completion to Jerry Gordon. But Gordon is brought down on a nice tackle by Joe Johnson. In there at strong safety. Yep, keeps him in bounds.
You deploy your defense now to take away the sidelines. Let them complete it in the field. It won't make much difference. The Jacksonville Bulls are deploying 10 men, and then they're playing another man deep enough to field the punt right now.
Here's a completion to the tight end, Joey Hackett. First down will stop the clock momentarily. Terry Beeson on the tackle in the USFL. In the last 2 minutes, they stopped the clock on the first down while they moved the chains, and then they started up again. Chains are being moved, and we're ready to go. First and 10. It's only a matter of count right now. Neuheisel under a rush again, and down he goes. Neuheisel tackled this time by Curtis Anderson. Boy, it's like a feast out there for those down linemen.
Sure it is. This is beef up your sack statistics time.
Ike Griffin on a hurry, and Neuheisel was sacked eventually by Curtis Anderson.
He really has no one to throw to. The zones are all over the field. Ike Griffin reaching for him. Anderson tackling.
That's over the middle, meanwhile, to Gordon, and Gordon is hit again by Terry Beeson as Jim Bates calls his final timeout with 7-6. Well, no more timeouts. He's signaling for timeout, but nobody's stopping the clock. And that is the end of the ball game. The snap came too late. The final score from the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville is over 32,000. Rejoice in Florida. Jacksonville wins it 28-17. We'll be back to wrap it up here in Jacksonville in just a moment.